Okay. Welcome to the tutorial. If you're here to learn something, you're in the wrong place.
Stay in school, kids.
Schools for fools. Look at me.
Welcome to this our inaugural
Me,
episode.
I got no degree.
C's get degrees.
We, we may want to introduce ourselves.
Right.
Okay, who wants to go first?
Yeah,
about you, Mr.
How about oldest
How
old
about
man?
host?
Yeah, how about oldest old man goes first?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
The overview.
We're going
Alright,
over from
I,
Age to beauty.
I will probably be called Dave for most of this. My internet name is Leonis or Lorian Leonis.
He's also known as Dave.
Yeah, I just said that.
I know. I just wanted to
I said
reiterate
I'll
that.
go by Dave. Yeah.
Yeah, he's reinforcing the idea.
Like if ever I actually get anywhere on YouTube, that's the name you'll be able to look me up on.
Okay.
Okay.
Or Master Leonis. That was another one I came up with.
Well, we grant you a seat on this council, but we do not grant you the right to come master.
Okay.
I honestly, for a while, didn't want to put Lore Master in because I'm just like, I haven't done anything to earn that name. But then if I give myself a different name and then become big on YouTube, no one's going to accept me changing my name.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
That's cool, but there's 4 quarters in this
Okay.
ring, and we've only introduced one of them.
Yeah.
let's go down from age. How about that?
Yeah, I was gonna
now.
say.
If we're going descending by age, that makes me next because I too am.
Okay. Well.
Hey,
So yeah,
Silver Knight.
I go by well my username here on Discord and most other places is Dark Lord of Beef, which is a long story. Don't ask; it's too long to tell. But I also go by Zeta, and I am also one of these paranoid fucks who doesn't want my personal name on the internet.
Okay,
Well-
so we want to actually call. So we want to
Yeah.
go by internet names then, apparently.
Well, for me, if you're going to use like a personal name, just go with Zeta because it's my nickname.
Okay. Okay. Zeta.
Okay, so unlike these 2 old guys, I'm only middle-aged.
Yeah, we got Boomers, Gen Z, and Gen X.
Yeah. So I go by RGB Unpro, but most people look at it and say it's RG Bunpro. It doesn't really matter either way.
Your name is Buns.
and or just Steve.
Yep. Okay. Well.
I'm gonna be 100% honest. I'm probably gonna slip and use your name, Zeta, at some point. Just because.
Well,
Try not to.
You
Alright,
do realize
I'll
I
try.
can
I'm
just putting it out there. I can edit this show. I
Yeah,
do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Moving
so-
onward to our youngest member, the
Yeah, so-
child of the group.
So hey, I'm young as fuck.
You can't drink alcohol.
I go by many names: Cosmic Titties, Space Nipple, Goblin, but you can call me James.
It's like a demon lord entrance. Like, I have gone by names. The sacrificer.
He
But
just
you
walks.
can call me
He just walks in the door. He's like, space, titties, blood. My name is James.
That's really how it is, though.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Terraria. My name is James.
He's
God,
like
no.
he's that guy, but he's in Warhammer 40K.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, there you go. That makes perfect sense.
That guy's name was Gary.
So I'm gonna assume the host will explain what we're doing now.
Yeah, so turns out that all 4 of us we like to talk about pop culture a lot. So you know, things like video games and TV and anime and other
things that are
pop
popular.
culture things. Yeah. I was gonna say music,
Sure.
but then I remembered that Dave over here gave me a long speech about how he doesn't want to talk about music. So
I mean, I don't mind. We could talk
And
about. we could
also,
talk
I'm
about
I'm
music.
kind
I
of the
just-
only one that has a foot in music anyway.
I gotta say, I'm not. I don't have my foot in
I
the
have,
music
like,
industry, so I don't like have any really good stuff to say about it.
But anyway,
I mean,
today,
around music enough to know that Kanye wrote a theme song for the guy that straight up Mortal Kombat kicked another guy in the face in the UFC. But I don't know what the top 40 are right
I was gonna say Conor McGregor, but he uses his hands.
now. No, the real life T'Challa.
I don't know who that is. I don't keep up with UFC enough to know.
Well,
Yeah, no, neither do I.
But yeah, anyway, so today we're talking about video games because we all know video games real well. We play a lot of
Yeah.
video games, except James, who plays only 2.
Hey, I
more than two throughout his life.
there's presently 7 different games on my PlayStation, and like
Oh
Over
my
a
god!
hundred-
A whole
and-
7.
and over
Holy
150
Jesus.
and over 150 in the Steam library. Okay.
I'm just saying, take that 7 and
Yeah,
add
like,
like
your
2
Steam library
zeros
doesn't count
to
because
it.
you never play them.
Yeah, but
I have 7
I
have, like-
2 zeros.
I have like
To be fair-
88. I play like 3 of them.
To be fair, half of the games in my Steam library I can't even run on my computer.
Yeah,
I have the
You have an
same.
ancient piece of shit that's even worse than my ancient piece
I,
of
th-
shit.
I actually, I think I probably have the best computer here.
Probably.
Consider
half,
probably
maybe,
no.
just a
No.
hunch.
You
Nah.
spent $3,000 on your computer.
That's after
There's no
taxes.
probably.
That's after taxes. It was 3,000.
Fucking.
It's still $3,000. You bought a
$3,000.
computer instead of a car.
Yes.
Yeah,
And I
really.
don't
I-
regret it one bit.
You're like
I've
this.
barely made I
Uh,
haven't even made $4,000 working yet, man.
Meanwhile, I have to bleed every fucking penny I make. So
That's not video games though. Not,
I'm just
not-
saying, the
No,
computer
no,
keeps
no.
me
I'm just-
entertained,
he's
man.
Over here. He's just
car
over here
is just a money
bragging
drain.
That his computer's
A car is
so
not just a
good.
money drain.
Car is a money drain. You have to pay for like
no.
It's
gas
not video games.
and like expenses for the car if like the
Yeah,
air conditioner
Man,
breaks.
this conversation derailed so
Yeah,
fast.
really. Okay. All right. So video games, we're talking about it. We all like video games. What's your favorite video games, guys? Let's talk about that.
We have to pick just one.
No,
Okay,
we have
Oh,
to
man,
make
I
this
have a fucking
podcast an
list.
hour long. No.
we're going in.
Oh, it'll be an hour long. That won't even be a challenge. Well, I would actually
doing-
this one. Let's start with Space Nipple because
course.
he's the younger one.
Because
so
Hey,
he's
because I'm still editing my list of my favorite video games, and he already knows his answer.
Are we
Also
doing
because he only
favorite
plays two
video
video
game? Or are we doing favorite
Actually,
video
I'll be
game?
honest. I literally was just like, because he's younger, he's got like he plays more recent titles, and I feel like
Right.
when the rest of us are going to start talking, we're going to start talking about some older stuff that's a little
That's
more.
actually really fair. To be honest.
Yeah.
Zeta, what did you ask?
I asked, are we just listing what our favorite games were, or are we listing our
Talking
favorite
about
games
it a bit.
and why they're our favorite?
Yes, the why is very important. Why are they our favorite
Right,
games?
Yeah.
All right. So if I'm gonna go first, right, I'd have to say, currently out of like recent relevant titles, I'd have to say, and you probably all three already know this, but Dead by Daylight would
Of
probably be
course.
my current favorite game. And no
I'm
matter
watching this dude on YouTube just like Dead by Daylight is garbage for like 10 minutes. And
It
I'm
is.
Like, but
it's such a fucking awful,
mean-
unbalanced, unfair game, but I fucking love it.
I enjoy it. It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's unbalanced as shit. The developers do a really good job. Okay, no hate to the developers. They do a really good job. They really care about the game, and that's part of what makes it fun. No matter how bullshit and broken it can be, it's there's just nothing more fun than like Leatherface chasing you and you running him around for fucking 10 minutes while everyone else does everything. You know?
This is terrifying, and I fucking love it.
Hey guys, I got a
I love how the game's supposed to evoke an atmosphere of like being scared shitless when you're
See, the first
When
time
you're
the first time people play it, they generally are like scared shitless. But then as you get used to it and you understand everything is bullshit, then it doesn't phase you that much anymore.
I mean,
no,
come
I'm gonna
on,
say,
come on.
You are
They're
the
like,
characters you're playing.
they're like, here's fucking Pyramid
Yeah,
Head
it's just
and
80
Bill
million time I've
Overbeck,
done
and
this.
you're all
Yeah,
gonna go
here's-
run around and have fun. Like,
Yeah.
come on, it's very hard to take seriously.
So the one thing that
Well, no, you're
I
not supposed
speaking
to
of
take it
Pyramid Head,
seriously.
speaking of Pyramid Head in that game, when they did the Silent Hill chapter, the fucking problem that I have is they added Pyramid Head, and instead of adding James Sunderland, they added Cheryl Mason.
I don't
Which is
even
like-
know who either of those are.
Well, James Sunderland is the person who Pyramid Head, whose demon Pyramid Head is, or so to speak, whatever.
He's
In
the guy
the
everyone
same
thinks of
game.
is from Silent Hill 2.
Right.
Basically, they added the wrong protagonist from the wrong game.
Yeah, they added the female protagonist from a different game that Pyramid Head isn't even in.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, that's like
It's
the
a rights issue, to be honest.
yeah, it is kind of a rights issue, but like that's not the only one that they like when they did Nightmare on Elm Street, they added Quentin Smith, the main character's boyfriend,
Again,
instead of the main
Is
character.
like, why?
He's the ugly son of a bitch with the fucking like gross hair.
Now I know who he is. I've seen him on the list.
It probably just like cost too much or something like that for them to get the correct characters. Because,
Maybe.
unless you have like a ton of money, or you happen to be the favorite among certain areas, then yeah, stuff like that comes up where it's like, oh, well, you can't do this because we want this much for you to include them because you're taking on our branding.
Yeah,
But
I mean-
they paid for the killers, which is arguably the biggest part
yeah.
of branding.
Right.
Well, that depends on the opinion of the brand they're borrowing from, too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, would you say James Sunderland is more important than Pyramid Head in Silent Hill?
I
But
don't know.
I think so. Yeah.
I'll be 100% fair. I
Yeah.
didn't play that
I'll-
game, so I can't.
I'll put it this way: I
Well-
don't know who the fuck James Sunderland is, but I know who Pyramid Head is.
Well, I'll say that for
Yeah, I was gonna say for branding purposes, Pyramid Head's bigger.
when you're playing Silent Hill, I would say Sunderland is certainly more
Yeah.
important.
When you're playing the game, because you literally play as
If you're looking at literally anything other than the game itself when it comes to like pop culture and it's the Silent Hill.
nobody fucking knows who James Sunderland is unless
Yeah,
they-
Pyramid Head is what people walk away with.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
But again, like Dead by Daylight is a really fun game, and if you haven't played it, you should. Even
I just
though,
don't
you know,
understand.
you cannot enjoy it. But I know I've gotten Dave here to play it with me on a couple occasions.
I
when he used to
played
do
it
the
once
game.
and it was like super new. It's not my thing.
It's
I
so
don't get-
much better than when it was super new. When it was
Yeah,
super
yeah.
new, it was
When it was really
utter
new, it was,
garbage.
yeah. When it was really new, it was new, and you could tell it was.
I will
Not
say,
developed yet,
generally
you know?
with games like Dead by Daylight, it's one of those things where they go, "Oh, hey, this is a game that you play with friends," and when I'm told that, it immediately goes in the garbage pile.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
I mean,
I
it's
Like,
so
oh,
happen to have
I need to
friends I can
interact
play
with
it
other
with.
humans to play this game? No, thanks.
I mean, you could play it with the,
I mean,
the,
you could
the four
play
of
with
us right here
randoms.
could play it.
They're like,
Yeah, you
they're
can
like,
do it.
hey,
With a random
their
character.
other solution is hop online to a group of internet strangers, and I'm like, that's going to be a room full of 13-year-olds who all want to tell
There
me how
are-
they simultaneously
no.
all had great relations
They
with my
can't
mother.
talk
Dude,
to you.
there's no voice chat in the game.
There's no.
Oh,
voice
well, that's
chat.
that's
They
the
can't talk to
improvement
you.
that every developer should make.
No voice See, okay, well the difference is
So suddenly it's tolerable.
think about it this
Way, way more.
look at it this way: if you have 4 survivors that are all able to constantly communicate with each other the whole game, constantly calling out, "Oh, the killer's over here. He's doing this. He's doing that. He's doing this." Everyone always constantly the whole game knows where he is and what he's doing. So it makes it so much harder for the killer to win in that scenario, which is why people that play together, they call it survive with friends. People that play together, survive with friends, is much more of like a difficult matchmaking for the killer because they're constantly calling out to each other. Oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. And for example,
Yeah, that's fair.
oh, he's putting a trap over here. Oh, he trapped that pallet. Be careful. Don't go through that
Oh,
window.
we 3gen'd ourselves hard. He's really like screwing us over and just running between the generators right now.
Yeah,
Oh, he's a fucking face capping retard.
yeah.
Are
Like,
we allowed to cuss? I should ask that.
I don't know. Are we allowed to fucking swear? I don't fucking know.
fuck if I know.
Okay, cool.
My concern isn't with
Just
swearing.
because I know YouTube. I don't know if you're putting this up on YouTube, but YouTube is like really mean about that these days.
Well, look,
Yeah, you can't say the R word because it's considered hate speech.
look. I'm just saying. I can mark it as a not
we can
safe for
avoid
kids.
that.
I could mark it as a
Yeah.
not safe for kids. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
9
don't
times out
think
of
it
10,
is.
if you mark it not safe for kids, they're also gonna be like, oh, if I hear one thing off in this thing, then I'm gonna just demonetize.
Right, so we're talking about
Yeah.
video games.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Apparently, by the way-
bitches about YouTube though.
Apparently, by the way, I do have Dead by Daylight in my Steam library, and I've not ever installed it or played it.
dude,
I don't know if he can he crossplay with us?
Yeah, there's
on
crossplay.
PlayStation.
there's
I was gonna
crossplay.
say
yeah.
he knows. I
That'd
don't.
be dope.
Hey,
That'd
hey,
be
hey,
dope.
hey, Zeta, you should buy the game.
Wow.
You can't convince him to. He's over here.
Never.
What if I bought it?
I'm just not. It's not my kind of game. My
Nah,
God.
it's
feel
not
that.
Soulsy
It took
enough,
me a
okay.
minute to get into because like you have to get past the horror. For me, it's getting past the horror game aesthetic. I'm really not.
Not
into
even that.
horror
It's just
genre.
that it's effectively a really slowed down and superpower granted version of like tag. And if I wanted to play tag, I could just play tag.
It's more like hide and seek than tag.
Dude,
like it turns
dude,
into tag when
come
they
on.
find you.
Like-
but-
Come on, man.
Nation of hiding.
If the Fear Farm guys came up one day and they were like, "Do you guys want to play tag with chainsaws?"
Hell yeah!
Fucking
As long as
do it.
I get the chainsaw.
Fuck yeah! I'm assuming not chainsaws that could kill you, but yeah.
You don't know. That's part of the fun.
As long as I
Well,
get the
here's the
chainsaw.
thing.
Did I just become the horror monster?
Yeah.
Becomes the question.
You know, because I've been behind the scenes at places like Fear Farm. There are no teeth on those chainsaws.
Oh, well,
I've
thank
never
you
been
for
behind
ruining
the scenes.
magic,
I've just-
bro.
I've just really unfortunately cold cocked some people when they scared the piss out of me.
Actually, I don't go to places like that with people like you because it's like you're not coming here to try to be a hero. That's not the point. You're coming here.
No. It has nothing to do with you trying to be a hero. For me,
It's just
it's
just
100%
that his
just the
default
instantaneously
Yeah.
reaction.
His
Yeah.
default
his default
reaction is
action
My
to
default
fear.
Fight or
is
flight is
kill the
fight.
thing killing me.
Yeah. His fight or flight
So
reaction.
some dude like steps out of the cornfield and is like, "Ugh," and my reaction is just like there's no brain activity. It's just there's no higher thought.
That's how you-
I just react.
That's how you get banned real quick.
Oh no, I've been banned from both Fear Farm and 13th Floor. for
good
that.
job.
So I've only been to Fear Farm. I've only been to Fear Farm one time.
Here's what I think is interesting about it. It took me, I think, 3 times at Fear Farm before they banned me. At
Actually,
13th Floor, they banned me on the first offense because the poor girl was this little 21-year-old girl,
Wow.
and I just like
Wow.
pulled her ass over. And
Wow.
there's a lot
proud
of
of
understanding.
you.
There's a lot of understanding that I didn't mean to do it, which I was really surprised at. I like assumed that I was done. Like I'm going
Alright,
to jail.
So
I'm fucked.
so two things. One, if a new horror attraction like that ever pops up and I take you there, you're going in handcuffs.
I just don't go to. I don't go to haunted
That might
houses
be
anymore
weird.
because of that.
The second thing is that doesn't have anything to do with video games, and we should get back on topic.
Yeah.
We were talking about how DVD is awful.
Well, it's awful, but it's simultaneously fucking amazing. So I mean,
We 3 of us talked about DVD.
Zeta.
Just was like, I hate it from the other side.
I didn't say I hate it. It's just it's not my thing.
it's not your type of thing. Yeah.
I'm not gonna
well-
play it. Not my kind of game. I
I
played
just
it once.
realized I used his name. Fuck.
Like I
Again, you
said,
can
I
edit
do edit this audio, so you can relax.
Yeah.
Okay.
have him go in there and just edit me going Zeta over every time that you.
Yeah. All right, let's all be quiet real quick and just let him say that.
Just give us a clean take.
Zeta.
Perfect. We're good.
Dude,
All right,
full
cool.
second to realize you were talking to me. I was like, what the fuck are we doing?
See, that's my main problem.
old
Is
man.
like I'm always worried that if I give out like my internet name and someone actually uses it, I'll just be like doing whatever, and people will be like, Leo, 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 and like after 5 times, oh fuck, they're talking to me.
Yeah.
This is what you have.
use it in my normal day-to-day life at all.
You have to like train yourself to answer to it because like I've had so much time with the name Zeta that somebody from a distance goes, "Hey Zeta," and I'll look around like,
What's
Yeah, 'cause
interesting
you
about
came
it
up with
is
that
when
name
I'm,
when you were like
playing-
my age, weren't you?
So this does relate to video games though. So like when I'm playing
Yeah.
online with like friends, like when I used to play Destiny and I would do like raids and stuff, I answered to Leo instantly.
I don't want to
Um,
get started on Destiny. Oh,
No,
boy.
we're not going to
I feel like that could be its own episode, honestly.
It probably could. I'm not trying to bring up Destiny to talk about Destiny. It's a game that I did a lot of co-op in.
also on my list, so we're going to talk about it.
Oh man.
Oh, well,
So
there we go. I was going to say it is on my
Anyway.
list too, but I wasn't going to force everyone to talk
are we
about
done?
it.
Are we done with Dead by Daylight then? Are we moving
Sure,
on?
I guess.
Yeah,
I
all
guess.
right.
Let's
I mean,
move
we
on.
have been recording for 20 minutes.
Hey, that's a
All
fifth
right.
of the. Well, is it? That's
That's
It's like
almost a
third
quarter.
of the hour.
And
Fuck,
soon,
I'm bad at math. That's almost
so,
half an hour.
So, are there any other games that you're like that
Well-
are like your favorites, or did you just want to talk about Dead by Daylight?
Well, let's give some other people some a chance to talk. So I don't
So
take
you
up
know,
the
Dead
whole
by
show.
Daylight, Dead by Daylight. If I Dead by
Okay.
Daylight, I Dead by Daylight.
No.
Daylight.
hey, Marty
No,
Beard.
there's other things on my list. It's just that
Here,
I've taken up 20 minutes.
Beard bro, he's being nice. Just let him be nice.
Beardy boy, beard, Bun Pro.
Weird
What's your-
beard.
Yeah, what?
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. What do you want?
I want you to tell me about your fucking favorite games.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you're
I
next in line. You're the next youngest.
I didn't realize we were going youngest to oldest, but okay. The
Sure,
irony of that
whatever.
name
Why
is that
not?
the current profile picture that I have on Discord does not have a beard.
Oh.
Yeah, but you can't see
Yeah.
that far. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the question I suppose is what qualifies as favorite, because if we go by pure
Oh, good. We're
playtime,
gonna have this conversation now.
Oh, we're not going by playtime. We're going by what game have you played that has brought you the most enjoyment, personally.
Yeah. I think that's
okay,
more or
and
less
that
a big
narrows
thing,
the
like-
list down to just the same as it was before.
right, well-
I was just gonna say, like, that's why I equate when you asked me this question initially, I was like, oh, like what games have had the biggest impact on me? Like, technically, that's
Right.
two separate questions, but
I
what
feel
game-
like I feel like
but the biggest impact were also the games I enjoyed the most.
I was gonna say I feel like the games you enjoy the most are kind of tied to how much playtime you have, because if you enjoy them, you play them a lot.
Mhm.
Right.
So in that case, my top hours on Steam is Terraria.
100%.
Of course.
I love myself some Terraria, especially every time they drop a new update and there's all kinds of new content that I can go explore.
Dude, okay, so since
Didn't
they
they
did,
like? Didn't
they
they like
did the
stop
second-
doing that?
They
since
did
they did the second half of Journey's End, I have not touched the game.
so they did this
They
thing.
said
They did
And
this
then they
thing
lied.
where they were like, "It's Journey's End. It's the last update to Terraria. It's the last one we're gonna do, guys." And then they were like, they released it, and then they're like, "Actually, that was just Journey's End Part 1. We're gonna release a Part 2 later on." So we were all like, "Oh, okay, cool. We get more shit." And then they released Part 2, and then they're like, "Yeah, actually, real talk, we're not done updating the game. There's like a couple of more updates still."
Yeah, so since they did part 2
Wow.
of Journey's End, I literally have
Wow.
not.
I
even
remember there was like
touched
a
the game yet for that part.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
a lot of
I was-
there was a lot of talk
huge
about it.
emotional. There was like
Chippy
I
did a big thing
remember,
on
like,
his
just, like,
channel.
like people were posting like goodbye to Terraria and all this
Yeah.
stuff, and like I remember all this like fan art that was like thank you for X many years, and I was like, because I don't play Terraria, but just looking at it from the outside, I was like, that's really cool and really warm. I love that they get this, have that experience. You know, it's going to be really great for them. But then you're telling me, and then they just fucking like knifed that to
Yeah,
death.
and here's the thing. Here's the
Instantly.
other part of it too. Is they're like, so this is the final update, the 1.4 update for Terraria for PC. We still have to get it going on all the other consoles.
Yeah, they still didn't get console up to
I
one.
mean,
They've
yeah,
got
they
console
forgot that.
edition and mobile edition, and neither of them are up to 1.4 as far as I know.
Yeah.
So
No,
those guys don't get their Terraria.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair,
Uh,
they've always been behind.
They
PC.
have. Also
Well, yeah,
because
the console edition and mobile editions didn't even come out until the PC edition was already in 1.2.
yeah, and then also on top of that, both I know for sure the console edition has changed hands like 4 times between different studios.
Yeah, and there's that.
Interesting.
Have you seen the Chinese Terraria?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
No.
yeah, everything looks different.
Yeah, because I guess you can't have tentacles. So like the Eye of Cthulhu is just like it looks like a ball of cabbage
Yeah.
You can't have what?
You can't have
Tentacles.
because that's a stand-in for penis.
I can
Why
kind of
did you say
understand
it's
that.
so weird?
Oh man, China's going through some
Penis.
shit right now too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're talking about video
I
games.
don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. We're talking about video games.
Yeah, so Terraria, for anybody that doesn't know, it's like a side-scrolling adventure diggy game. Most people think it's called
It's
2D
dude,
Mario.
Minecraft.
Yeah, see, uneducated
Minecraft.
saps like
There is
Dave.
So much more to it than Minecraft.
Okay, I did want to say, to be fair, there's like Terraria is enormous compared to Minecraft. Like I think one day Minecraft will reach that point.
I
But I
want
just
to
don't think the
argue
development
that
team
it
cares
depends on
quite
what
as
you
much.
mean by enormous, because even the largest world in Terraria does have an end. Like you can reach the end
Yeah.
of it.
So the world
No, no,
generation
no, no,
in-
no, no,
in
no, no.
Minecraft
But as
is
far as like
infinite, but
other
there's
stuff goes, like there's tons
Yeah.
of bosses and weapons.
No,
and
what I mean
armor
is
and
like
shit.
how much you can do in it. So like
Yeah.
originally Minecraft was just kind of diggy hole, build yourself a house, and that was pretty much it. But like Terraria, like there's a whole slew of bosses to fight. There's a whole slew of like, first of all, the number of things you can get, like the number of upgraded items and the tiering and the like echelons of what you can get. There's so much more of that.
Oh yeah,
Whereas in Minecraft, there's kind of just
yeah. Minecraft is like, you gotta go for diamond armor, bro. And then they're like, hey,
Well, now
hey
it's
guys,
netherite.
Well, the other
netherite.
thing is like you can, what's the word I'm looking for? In Minecraft, you do like technically you can make a number of different armors. Like you can make leather armor, but no one does it because it just takes us
You
time to get
can't
iron.
make chain armor though. You have to get it by killing something that's wearing it.
Yeah, and by the time you
Yeah.
assemble a full set, you're gonna be like, hey guys, check out this chain armor, and it's fucking useless.
Yeah, because you're by then you're
yeah.
probably gonna already have like full netherite, or at
Diamond
least
armor,
almost
yeah,
full netherite.
whatever.
Unless you have
Well,
a big
netherite's
ass
the
mob
new
farm.
one, and it's really fucking hard to get netherite. Like it's just really rare as a material.
But see,
Um,
only if you're mining wrong. You got to do it right.
But what I'm
Yeah,
I'm
you gotta
saying
use
is like,
beds.
for example, the only boss for a long time was just the
Ender
Ender
Dragon?
Dragon, and they very
But now they-
recently, well, not super
Not very
recently, but they added the Wither, and now
Relatively
they're adding
speak-
like some mini bosses in. The Warden is a mini boss in the new update they're doing.
Mhm.
And I'm just kind of hoping that they're gonna add more stuff. So like there's a mob called the Giant, for example, that
He can
they
really
haven't
go
used
on,
for
can't
anything,
he?
but I sure can. Yeah.
So here's the thing to take away from it. Terraria will never be Minecraft, and Minecraft will never be Terraria.
No, they're two separate
Yeah.
games,
I was
and
gonna say, like,
they're for
just-
two different crowds,
Terraria
but
has so
similar
much more
crowds of
in
people.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not to
that's
be
just
not
what
to
I was
mean
trying
that
to
I
go
can't.
on.
because I enjoy both games, but
So do
I probably have played more of Terraria.
I think I find it
Yeah.
more fun. I think what I find more fun with Terraria is the whole starting over thing. When like once you've finished, like you've beaten a world, you've beaten all the bosses, you've done all that. I find it more fun to then start over with maybe a different difficulty or something like that.
Or maybe just instead of going for a melee build, go for a magic build or a ranger
Yeah,
build. There's so
Whereas
many different things
Minecraft
you
is
can
more of
do.
a like, well, I don't really want to abandon this world. I'd rather just build more shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Fair.
oh, I've already got like redstone everything. Fuck it, let's build a giant Home Depot logo out of wool. Like, why
Let's build
not?
a giant American flag over the ocean and set off fireworks behind it.
Yeah.
Every
Happy
country
4th
in the
of
world
fucking July.
belongs to America.
Wow. I don't know if
Yeah,
I don't
right.
know if I'm allowed to let that on YouTube.
Well, I mean,
I
probably
was
not.
making a Bandit Keith reference.
I
He's such an
know.
idiot. I mean, you can block it out if you want. It's just like
No, because if Bandit Keith can say it, fuck it.
Yeah, true.
Well, I mean, that's my thing. Like, come on, somebody could get offended by it, but let's be honest. Like, it wasn't meant seriously. It's just one of like, I'm just doing a reference to a thing, and even within that media, he was depicted as stupid for saying it.
I
Right,
think
so-
I think Zeta was trying to shout something at you.
Couldn't quite hear it.
The Post Joke Society.
Ah,
live in a post-joke society.
see,
do it.
one day,
Almost,
I
almost, yeah.
one day,
Terraria.
one day,
Yes.
I hope that Zeta will stop
Terraria.
talking out of a tube.
Terraria.
Bruh.
Terraria. All right,
Yes.
you want to say something about Terraria? Say something about Terraria, dude.
No, I'm trying to re-rail this derailed
Yeah,
train.
so Terraria,
Swamp biome.
Terraria. That's if we go by playtime purely, that's definitely my favorite game. I do love me some Terraria. There's a lot of
I'm
fun to be
curious
had.
what your hours, on that arc because I have a pretty not to dick measure, but I got a pretty respectable hours on that as well.
You want me to?
Dude, I don't even have
You want me
1,000
to?
hours
You
on
want me to
that.
check? I can look right now.
Yeah, go ahead. Look, I'll
Okay,
look up
let me-
what mine is.
Let me.
I'm
let me
very
look at
curious
mine.
which of the two of us has actually played more.
Terraria.
Not like- I honestly want to see who's wasted more of their life. I have played over 3,400 hours.
wow!
Yikes.
Wow!
How many hours you at?
How many hours, Steve?
I'm calling bullshit on his hours.
How many hours you got, Steve?
I have 1,853.
Well, you'll be happy to know
But-
that I have.
I'll have you know, if I look on Zeta's Steam page, he has 1,888. That does not say 3,000. Okay, fuck you.
Yeah, but see, that doesn't count my bootleg hours from before I owned the game legitimately.
Okay, well, if we're just going by Steam, I still have like 1,000.
Yeah, by
left to
Steam,
build it.
I only recently passed up my leaked hour, which, by the way, I tweeted that at them when I got to 1337 hours, and they agreed that I am now qualified to consider myself a elite Terrarian. So that's
Steve.
apparently still a thing.
So I have 702
Wow.
hours, and that's it.
This is another
I
game
have
where
3
three.
hours.
I was gonna say this
Oh,
is another
I
game where
only
3
have
of the 4 of us have played it.
Hours.
Yeah. Well, no,
Yeah.
I played it. I just didn't play it much. Like it's
You-
So I was like, what I was trying to say earlier is there's so much more in it, but I still enjoy Minecraft because it's first person. Probably. I don't know for sure if that's the reason,
Minecraft
but
Also, third person.
I don't know. I played Minecraft first. I played Terraria, and I was like,
Look, you like it because
see
your
the
brain
potential.
say Minecraft good, Terraria bad, and that's really all there is to it.
I don't know. It's not my speed. That's all I
Yeah,
can say.
it's
I
not your
enjoy
thing.
watching videos.
There's no problem with that.
I enjoy watching videos of people playing it. I just don't enjoy playing it myself.
I miss back when like, Toby was important and he played Terraria.
Oh
Who?
boy, Toby
Toby
Turner.
Games. Yeah.
Oh,
Mars!
he was fun to watch. Oh man, he got screwed. But I don't want to talk about that too
What
hard
do you,
either.
just by the way, let me just
That's
ask.
it. That's something for a later.
Let me just ask.
episode.
What's the like oldest Minecraft YouTube channel you guys can remember?
Probably PewDiePie.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably PewDiePie.
I was gonna say like, I mean
I think
PewDiePie,
actually
but
started
also
his
like
before
Yogscast.
Toby.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
other one.
Yogscast.
Like
Yogscast.
PewDiePie-
Really
like
old.
like PewDiePie, Yogscast, and Captain Sparkles. I think are like the oldest. Fucking-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Captain
Oh,
Spark.
yeah, Captain.
Yeah.
Captain. Yeah, that is probably one of the older ones.
I haven't watched Captain
I love
Sparkle.
Captain, my Captain. Oh, it's been a minute.
Dude, I
To
watch
be
him on
fair,
the rigs.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised I didn't remember that because I watched his SMP Earth bit too, and that was last year.
He also has. He also now has a channel for everything. By the way,
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
he literally has a channel.
I mean, he's been he's been on YouTube.
got a
for
channel-
like over a
I mean,
decade.
I don't mean to plug other people's work here, but he has a channel called Merit Music where he makes music, and he has a channel called Jordan Lifts where he just works out on camera. Like he just fucking is doing whatever the fuck. Yeah,
I am monetizing my entire life, bitches.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's living the dream right there.
Funny.
Jesus. Okay, so my second most played game on Steam is fucking Unturned.
Oh, Jesus.
Dude, that's a game. That's a game that we should all get together and play at some point because I have a feeling that.
It's
I
so
played a little bit of it, and I really hated it.
I'm a boomer because I don't know what the fuck that is.
Oh, that would make it so much more fun if we all play.
Oh man, I remember installing mods for like a
Because Zeta's gonna look at it and go, "What the fuck is this bullshit?"
Oh, me? I already played it, and I already
No, I'm
looked
talking
at it and
about
said, "What the
Zeta.
fuck is this bullshit?"
Zeta's gonna be like, "What is
Oh.
this fucking bullshit?"
Yeah, so my three
Yeah,
top
I
three
know,
games
it's
on
so
Steam,
terrible.
my three most played games on Steam is
Yeah.
Terraria, Unturned, and Brawlhalla.
Mine is
Oh,
This
mine.
it's great though. Raw is amazing.
Brawlhalla is so
It's
good.
literally just Roblox meets.
I've never played Brawlhalla either.
No, Brawlhalla is like
What?
What?
No, you have to. You
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to.
yeah. I'll add it to the list.
Okay, here's the thing though. I also haven't played Brawlhalla.
Hey,
We gotta do a thing. We gotta fix this problem,
dude, it's so good.
dude.
I have so
Face,
many like
we
I
have
have
to-
I
we
have
have
like
to do
almost
this.
every character. I had all
All
the
right,
colors
okay,
for
okay.
every character. I have
Add-
Rayman. Rayman is in the game as a character who you can play as.
okay,
Okay, never mind.
but hear me out though. But hear me out though. We're still talking about video games.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
are still talking about video games.
So
I'm talking about Brawlhalla.
so like
So what
my,
else do you
my,
have on
uh,
your list?
my other obviously we've got Skyrim, which is great.
That's
Uh,
obviously on everyone's.
That's a game
yeah,
I played
that's-
forever, eons
feel like-
ago, and I did everything there is to do. and
Yeah, I
I'm
feel like we
like,
don't need to talk
eh.
much about Skyrim
You
because
definitely have
everybody
not done
knows.
everything that there is to do because there is so much modded content now.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
There's
let
like
me-
There's
let
so
me-
much that you can do in the
They're
vanilla
making
game.
Oblivion. They're totally remaking Oblivion inside Skyrim. That's how like big our community has gotten over the last 10 years.
yeah.
Mm,
Do you know why they're recreating Oblivion in Skyrim?
because it's better than Skyrim.
Because they ran out of shit to do in Skyrim.
Yeah.
Also,
Well, I was
Oblivion
gonna-
is better, but like
I was gonna say I'm in a bit of a.
Skyrim feels better.
It does. I was gonna say I'm in a bit of an odd spot with that because I played a lot of Skyrim on the Xbox before there was a lot of mods out for it. I've never had a PC that could run it, and for a long time, mods were only available on PC. And by the time the PlayStation made them available, like Skyrim was a part of my past, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going back to that. Like,
Yeah, but
I'm
see-
so far gone in another direction now that people are like, oh, you should try some modded Skyrim, and I'm like, Skyrim, no.
No, man, I only play Call of Duty now.
No, it's just like I just remember because part of it is the fact that I'd have to buy a whole new Skyrim copy with no
Mm.
save games or anything, and I'm like,
Mm.
I
Dude, fresh start.
100% of that game.
This is
I
the
did
beauty of
everything.
Digital purchases. I only have to buy it
don't-
once.
Well, no, but you don't understand. I bought it on Xbox, so it doesn't
Yep.
transfer. Back in the 360 days.
I know.
Uh,
Hey,
So
Zeta,
that-
Zeta.
Yeah.
what's your favorite game?
That's your list.
What's your favorite game?
Okay, now we're gonna talk about
Now
Instant Virtue.
I have to actually pick between these.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
What was that about your
well-
dick? What the fuck?
I said, are you going to make me pick between all of these?
I mean,
think you
I've
start
been
listing
talking
them
for
and we'll
like
start
20
talking.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got.
just
I
list
think
them
it's
and
your
we'll start
turn.
All right,
talking.
okay. Here's the thing. So, unlike the previous two here, I sort of have like this nostalgic tie that kind of goes back through time to games
here
that are
we go.
like shaped my taste in games.
Here we go.
So,
Well, I mean,
said,
I'm in the same boat, so
you said
I'm
you're
totally down.
Let us old guys
Because
talk.
you're old.
Blood.
Look,
All right,
hey,
so-
I played
man.
Shareware Doom. Okay, I'm old. I'm just middle-aged old.
I'm old too. I played Shareware.
You only adopted the games. We were born in it,
Guys, if it-
molded by
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
if it
yeah.
makes
Go
you guys-
shove that up your floppy drive.
If it makes you guys feel any better, I do remember what DOSBox is.
Yeah. But I played on
Meanwhile,
actual
someone
fucking
actually
DOS though.
played on actual DOS, yeah. Anyway, so the first game on my list that like started to shape my taste in games was actually Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which was like
Boy,
Was that the one you guys
Sonic
hogged
fandom.
in the back of Grandma?
no, that was Sonic the Hedgehog 1.
Yes, it was 100%. Well, both of them were there, but yes, 100%. We would do that.
Yeah,
So that was
that's the one
my.
that we played on Sega Genesis. So yeah, I prevented RGB from having this shape his taste in games by
Yeah, no,
playing it too much.
I was out in the other room with Grandpa playing with Silly String and having a much more fun time than you guys were.
All I know is it was the Sega Genesis was the first game console I remember because that's not true because when we lived in Minnesota, Dad had the Super Nintendo, but we were like extremely regulated on that. So the
See,
Genesis was really the first one
I don't remember that
Grandpa
because
had.
I wasn't like conscious.
Yeah, you were like an infant. You did not have opposable thumbs.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You was
so
a
Sonic
baby.
the Hedgehog 2 because I had pretty much only ever played Super Mario, and I was not good at Super Mario. I probably still
can
am.
you- what?
Super
How can
Mario.
you not be good at Super Mario?
Bro, don't
Because
even. I
was
can't
like
beat. Look, I've
3.
never in my life ever sat down in front of a Mario game and ever beat a single level. Okay, like I understand how to be bad at Mario. I can't do it.
It's so
Yeah,
simple.
all of us are gaming deities who only play Dead by Daylight for some weird reason.
It's so
Shots
simple,
fired.
guys. You
Shots
just
fired.
jump and shoot fireball. That's it.
I
It's not.
uh,
It's not simple because every time I jump, I die.
Well, jump at different times. You're not jumping at the right time. You're jumping. on
All
the
right.
wrong time.
Anyway, so Sonic the Hedgehog 2, because yeah, it was simpler. I liked it because it was simpler. You didn't have to deal with all kinds of weird, crazy power ups.
Yeah, I
It
can
was
agree with
just
that.
jump, pop, bad guy, move this area to that area, platformer. And then
super speed shoes and the
my
and
brain,
the invincibility.
yeah, as my
Oh,
brain
yeah.
developed more. Mega Man 7 sort of became my jam because
Mega Man.
Oh, dude, Mega Man.
Mega Man. Do you know they're still making Mega Man games?
You know the
I
first
Recently
Mega
made
Man
Mega
game,
Man 11, yeah.
You know the first Mega Man game that I played was Zero.
Mega Man, as
Oh,
in
you're
like
missing
Mega Man.
out. The first I ever played was 7.
I think.
I still
I
have
think
that.
also 7 was the first one I played.
Yeah, I think Mega Man 7 was the one that most of us played.
Because that was like the big one in the 90s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
It was.
I wasn't
Well,
around
I just
yet.
remember.
in the
I just
90s.
remember Jordy had
Yeah, Jordy
had
had
a
it.
game system with that on it, and whenever we went to Uncle Joe's house for Christmas or whatever, he'd be like, "Yo, let's play Mega Man."
Yeah, that or Buck Bumble. It depends on what he was feeling.
That's
The
a
Buck
blast
Bumble
from
was
the
Yeah,
past.
Buck
Holy
Bumble.
shit. Fucking Buck
Buck
Bumble.
existed. I don't know if I would put that on my favorite games list, but it existed.
I'd love to revisit that
What
one.
was
Holy
that
shit!
other one that he always wanted to play where it was like spaceships and he was always like, "Oh, the Titan mission."
What?
It was like Forsaken.
I know what you're talking about. And
A weapon
I,
surpass Metal Gear?
mm,
No.
Just
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the name of it.
Hey, hey,
it's a game
just
that-
a quick fun fact for you. I don't know if anyone will understand this at all. You might get it if you play Metal Gear Solid 3, but they do in fact sell Calorie Mate on Amazon.
Oh god.
That's insane.
That's a for real thing.
So
That's just
you sell calories on Amazon?
It's
Calorie
called
Mate.
Calorie
no.
Mate.
See, you don't get it. You didn't
I didn't
play that
intentionally
game.
say it at all.
They sell
Calorie Mate.
Calorie Mate on Amazon, which was it was like a food item in Metal Gear Solid 3.
Oh, I'm not
Mhm.
surprised at all by that. I've seen way weirder.
Well, they sell like Nuka Cola, you know.
Yeah, for instance, you can also buy Nuka-Cola.
I'm
Anyway,
sorry,
so
I
next
don't think
game
that's
on my
real.
list.
Okay, yeah,
Next
keep
game on
going.
my list is Quake 2. That was like the first person.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
I
I
have
remember
Quake 2
I said
RTX, man.
I remember I said the other day, like, oh, the first
Okay, but this is about games
probably
from my
Halo.
past, not games now.
I remember saying before, like, oh, the first person shooter I played was probably Halo, but come to think of it, it had to have been Quake 2.
Yeah, it was probably Quake 2
It
because
was
we had
definitely Quake 2. Yeah, because I remember when I was a kid,
All I
I played
remember
the
from
shit
Quake
out of
2
Quake
was
2.
like brr, brr, and computer.
Make it stop!
Oh,
It
yeah, that too.
hurts.
I still have most of the
Oh,
sound bits.
I hate that level because it goes on for so long and every 3 seconds.
Bro, I
hurts.
speedrun that shit, dude.
Make it stop! Like, just shut
It's
up.
like, yes,
I'm
please do
working on
make
it.
God damn.
Quit your caterwauling, goddammit.
Yeah, so I do not have Team Fortress 2 in my list because I thought that game was dumb and still do think that game is dumb. Anyway, so instead
We're
of
about
that,
to
I
get
have Battlefront 2.
flagged. We're gonna get flagged by an entire
I don't
fan
give a
base.
Don't, Dave, don't fucking act like you ever play Team Fortress 2 and enjoy
Look,
it.
Team Fortress
I
2
don't,
was
but
fun.
I'm not about to come out here and talk shit about it and
Team
invite
Fortress 2
an
was
entire
fun.
fan base to destroy us.
Look, I
We have
said it
such a
earlier.
strong fan
I
base.
said it earlier and I'll say it again. Team Fortress 2 is one of those games where they said play with friends and I immediately put it in the garbage.
I never ever have played Team Fortress 2 with friends. I've always just gone in and played it by myself, and it's fucking fun.
Team Fortress 2 is
so
just another
chaotic.
monument to the fact that Valve can't count to 3, and I'm done talking about it. Anyway, Battlezone 2.
Yes!
Oh,
Battlezone 2.
I forgot that one.
Battlezone 2 was my introduction to RTS while also being a first-person shooter and a third-person shooter. And
Yeah, I guess it probably would be my introduction to RTS too.
Battlezone.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
that
really
was
damn.
not my introduction to RTS. My introduction to RTS was Risk, but
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
because
don't
you're
think you're right.
old.
Nerd.
I don't count that because I pretty much only played Ultimate Risk, which was
Oh,
different.
okay.
well, same boat, but whatever. Moving on.
It's Risk, but with nukes.
Yeah, but speaking
Also,
of
I
RTS,
remember the Hasbro.
However,
Access
Ultimate
Now
Battleship did have nukes, which was fun.
speaking of RTS, Total Annihilation.
Ah.
I should have put that on here. Oh well.
Yeah, you,
I have it. I have it on Steam. They sell it on Steam.
Yeah, it was-
we tried to
Yeah,
get the
I have it
multiplayer to
too.
work, but we couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, to get the multiplayer to work,
Yeah.
it's some extra complicated bullshit you have to do. Like you have to download third-party programs and shit. It's annoying.
What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Total
To get
Annihilation
multiplayer
on
to work
Steam.
Total Annihilation.
What? How? No, I just click on it and it plays. What the fuck is your problem?
No.
Trust me.
No. It's not that the multiplayer doesn't work. It's that you can't pick who you play with.
Yeah. To get it to play with
So
someone.
you can't be like,
you
me
have
and
to
my
be-
friends all want to play
Exactly.
this game together.
Exactly. So to
You just go
me
into
and-
a
because
random line.
Oh,
trust me,
no, okay.
me and James tried, and it's ridiculous.
Or something.
It's so many
Yeah.
loopholes to make it work.
Yeah. We actually ran out of time because I had to go to work.
Yeah. And then all the time he was at work, I still couldn't fucking figure it out.
Right.
Yeah, that was one too.
Jumping between your computers. Dude,
All right, and then
forgot all about
System
Battlefield
link,
2.
dude. System link.
Wait, what did he say?
He said something about System Link.
System link, dude.
The fuck?
That's OG.
Just gotta plug them into each other like some fucking Xbox 360s, dude.
Oh,
We did it first
that's
time.
some console shit I don't know because I don't play on
Also,
consoles.
360s isn't where that started. That's the OG Xbox.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, like,
Not
couldn't you
even-
do that on
You
the
could
Game
do that with
Boy?
computers way back.
Yeah, no,
you could do that on
you did it on
computers.
the Game Boy first. Nintendo's the one that came up with that idea. Anyway, speaking of the OG
Nintendo invented
Xbox,
the internet,
Halo.
guys.
Oh yeah,
Ah.
Halo. I wanted to talk about Battlezone a little more. but-
Battlezone's
we
fun.
talk about Battlezone. What else did you want to talk about with Battlezone? Because
Dude,
I'll talk about Battlezone.
just like
Let's talk about
John
Um,
Cook.
Oh God. Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
So
fun fact: the guy who voiced John Cook in Battlezone 2 is also Paladin Dance.
Oh shit.
oh cool.
Oh,
I did not
shit.
know that. I was gonna say it was just like it was really cool being able to like build like that was the first game where I was like I remember being able to like build
Build a
really
base.
specific-
I
And
mean,
laugh with
yeah,
enemies
yeah.
and
So
destroy
I would
the base and
run
they would
around. I would
constantly
run around
break
in
the
one of the
front
like hover tanks, right, and like build up a base until you got like the satellite thing, and then the rest of the game I would be in the satellite thing, just like looking over the.
Oh
map.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's the
I
RTS.
don't know, I was
There's
always
no
getting my
way.
hands dirty in that game. I always
Yeah.
wanted to get up in the action and fuck shit
Oh,
up.
I would get out there, you know, if people came to my base to try to fuck me up, absolutely. But like,
No. I would take a squad to roll with me and go to the enemy base and fuck shit up.
Yeah, we call that simple mode. I would order troops around via the
get the mortars.
Okay.
and then I would get in
Okay,
my big
listen.
fucking tank and go
The
out
difference
with
is-
the army and just take the entire army and just crush their base.
Exactly.
But also, can I
Exactly.
mention how the
Take the whole
walker was
army.
like stupidly difficult to control?
Oh my god.
Pilot that thing.
Because it took up too much of the screen. No, the best ISDF unit to play was the rocket tank. It had the best offensive defensive.
Mhm.
Battle.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if this one's on your list, but just because we're also talking about Battlezone 2, Genome was pretty cool.
Genome was so
pretty cool, but I don't have a ton of memories about Genome because
I was gonna say like
one
Genome was.
that it worked on.
I was gonna say I think it just wasn't a time. It didn't leave a big impression. I remember it. I even beat the game. I remember beating the game, but like
I do want like a remaster of Genome. To be honest, like I would.
yeah, if they could,
I would love
if
to get that game going because anytime that you tell me, oh, hey, here's this game where you pilot a bunch of mechs and you fight a bunch of other mechs, yeah, just get me, I will play that game.
That's why MechWarrior is still popular.
Yeah, Mech Warrior,
Yeah.
Titan, things like that are successful because people are like, I like mechs.
Yes.
well, the other thing I think would be interesting with that, like if you did a remake with Genome, you'd have to flesh out the story a little better and do like full blown
Yeah.
scenes and
Yeah, it
One of
wasn't
those like
great.
back then.
games.
But like there was a lot of cool concepts they came up with in Genome. Like the Merc faction was literally like a coalition of mercenary groups, but they never really talk about that in the game because there wasn't enough space to like talk about the universe they wanted to talk about.
I just remember how janky the Widowmaker was.
Widowmaker.
Yeah, it definitely was janky as hell.
Super
And it had
janky.
one
I also
big gun that
remember
fired
this
every 20 seconds while every other mech could just pummel you to destruction while you're waiting.
Yeah,
for
but
your
it
gun to
also
turn.
that gun to which you're referring was basically the fucking Death Star. I remember the sheer terror the first time I saw one of those things
Yeah.
because I knew what it had.
But
and I
if
remember-
you miss, that's
Absolutely.
it. You're done. You're a
Yeah,
glass
but it
cannon.
covers such a wide area. It covers such a wide area, dude.
Yeah, but like, let's not forget about the fucking Voltron fucking lion mech thing.
Oh yeah.
Voltron Lion
The-
mech? I
The
don't
most
remember
powerful
this.
mech in the game was the Union Tactical Assault Hawk,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
was
Are we talking about the AT-AT that isn't an AT-AT because we
The
don't
one
want to
that,
be
the one with the
It
giant
was
fucking
an
lion
AT-AT
face on it, dude.
for
feline
completely
and
ripping
way
off Star
fucking
Wars?
faster. It was an AT-AT except feline, way faster, and much harder to destroy.
Hold on. What did you say this thing was called? What was it called?
Union Tactical Assault Hawk, the Lion.
Yeah.
Oh, the lion. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the biggest mech in the game because they wanted to bring it back around to the Union at the end. But since the Union's where you started, they didn't want to give you all that low level stuff again. So they were like, here, have this super mech that's like totally not Voltron.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like something out of Voltron.
It looks like
100%.
halfway between one of the parts of Voltron and a Zoid. That's what
Yeah.
it looked like.
It really did.
I'm trying to find it. I'm not. The problem is I type in genome and there's nothing that comes up in images for genome.
Well, let's see if I can find that for you because it
It's-
seems
well-
like I have a better track record than you.
Well, I looked up genome lion mecha.
It's G apostrophe gnome, by the way. N-O-M-E.
Oh, okay. I could
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, I found
There
it
we
like
go. Genome game, genome lion.
Lion.
No, I still don't get it when I look up genome lion mech.
Look up Genome Union mechs.
Union mechs.
If you look up
Here we
Hawk.
go. Okay, here we go.
That might be
Because you
better.
have like you have like the
Oh my
basic
God.
Walker.
Dark and Sentry Hawk.
Yeah. Cute little thing there.
Fucking shit, man.
I don't see the one we're looking for though. I love how they called the tank a hawk. It was like, no, it's not.
No, Hawk is what they're called. That's what they
Yeah,
call
that's
the
the
mech.
mecha. Yeah.
Which was like, I don't remember what it stood for.
See, I can't see, like, all it's showing me is pictures of, like, I get, like, a line of screenshots from the game.
And then like
But
everything.
then I get a bunch of, like, unrelated gnome pictures.
Well, in fairness, the game did come out in like 1989, so
Yeah. And I'm pretty
It's-
I can't
sure
even find a picture of it.
I'm pretty sure most people who listen to this podcast probably have no fucking clue what GM
Yeah.
is.
It's
Well,
ancient,
it's-
but
it's a fun game, and you should totally play it because if you enjoy mech games,
man,
it's a
if you
game.
enjoy really old janky games,
Hey, if we were like a gaming team and this becomes a thing where you're like, oh, let's talk about different genre of games. I got fucking dibs on retro, so fuck you.
I might
man.
fight you for
Grab
that
dibs
one.
on
I said you wanted to talk about Halo next. I just said
Yeah,
we spent a long time talking about Genome now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked more
a long
about
time talking about a game
Yeah,
that no one's gonna get.
longer than we did
Yeah.
about a game on my list, and it's not even on my list.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, no, Halo
So-
Combat Evolved. That was my first like real first-person shooter that wasn't as simple of a game as Quake 2 was. Which it's an id game. It's meant to just be like Gibbs and fun. So, but yeah, Halo was the first game that limited the number of weapons I could have. And when I first played that, I fucking hated it because I was used to something like Quake 2, where it's like, why can't I have 22 guns on me at once?
Don't ask me
But
about where I store all those weapons. It's
Yeah, don't
got
ask
up
me
my
where I
butthole.
store my rocket launcher.
It goes in a third person, and you just have like 12
Just
weapons
like
like,
20
stacked
guns.
on top of your back,
I feel like if we have
punched over
third
and shit.
person Doom player, that's exactly what it would look like. And he would just be like, they wouldn't even have like a military satchel or anything that they're all in. He would just literally have them like bungee corded to it.
He has no
See,
shirt.
I
It's just guns.
I think I technically played Call of Duty, like the first Call of Duty, before I played the first Halo. Like
Yeah, I
a few months
definitely did
before.
too. I definitely did too because I remember Sergeant Mooney. It's again like I didn't. There was also God, what the fuck was it called? There was like there was a pre-Call of Duty, and it was called like I don't remember what it was. All I remember is you had 5
there-
guns and
there was one
and
game I
survivors
remember
of
that's,
Bazooka.
There's one game
Was
that I
it? Was
remember.
it? Wait, you talking about World War II Normandy?
Yeah, Normandy. That was
I
like
love how we
free Call of
start
Duty.
talking about a game and then we just like divulge off
all right,
into like
all
some
right.
spin-off games
We don't
no
have to
one's
talk.
ever heard
We don't
of.
have to talk about Normandy much. I'm just gonna say, once you picked up the grease gun, the game was over. You won. That was it.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
basically.
true. That's how
Well,
it
there
is.
was the police gun, and then there was the rifle, which I think was the M1 Grand, but it was so long ago I don't remember. All I remember is the bazooka was my answer to everything. If there's a group of enemies, bazooka.
Bazooka. Yeah.
Bazooka. There's a door I can't open, bazooka. But the games didn't work like that back then, so I usually did.
Yeah, unfortunately, no. No, I think Battlefield Bad Company is the first game I ever played where you could like just destroy. Like, I want to get in that building. The door is locked. Just fucking blow the door.
Yeah,
off
that's
the
like a
hinges,
big
and you could
selling point
actually
for
do
them
it.
when they were marketing
first
the
You
game.
could
game
actually do it.
Destructible maps.
The first game that I remember being able to do that in was Mercenaries, which was literally called Playground of Destruction.
I never played Mercenaries Playground of Destruction.
It
I
plays.
thought it was super fun, but it was one of those games I at the
Have
time
you
it was
ever-
PC and I didn't have a PC that could handle
If
it.
you've ever played any of the Just Cause games, it plays a little bit like that.
Here's
Okay,
the
yeah,
gun.
I've
Go
played Just
fuck
Cause.
shit up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. The next one on my list after Halo, which I mean, I could do a much deeper, in-depth thing, but like I don't want to, shunt Halo into not enough time to talk about all the things that are great about Halo. So I'll just sort of move on, and we can talk about Halo at like a later episode. The next one on my list was actually also Terraria, which, as RGB pointed out earlier, even just in my legitimate ownership of the game, I have over 1,000 hours in. That was my sandbox. That is where I discovered how
I
to.
just want to ask, do you really want to admit on the internet that you pirated a copy of Terraria? Because I can't edit that out.
Oh, I didn't ever use that word. I'm just gonna say that I was sailing the high seas for a while when I was playing
Dude.
that game.
Dude, every time I fucking play Terraria with this man, he immediately just goes straight up to a sky island to farm harpies.
Yeah, he wants those wings, man. What can I
I
say?
know, I want those wings, and I want that sweet, sweet cloaca. I mean,
Whoa! Whoa! I didn't realize we were gonna take it there. God damn!
And on that note, can I talk about my games now?
no, I have one more.
He's got one
You
more.
have one more.
Are you sure?
Oh no.
What? I don't know if I want to know what that game is after that. Holy shit!
Actually, I have two more, but I've taken up so much time. I'll only go over one of them because I know one of them is on Dave's list too. So yeah, Dark Souls. Dark Souls was the latest game that has like shaped my taste in games. Which
Yeah, I never played Dark Souls.
yeah. Bear with me. The first time I played Dark Souls, I got to the Asylum Demon, got my ass kicked like 10 times in a row, and was like, "Fuck this game! I'm not ever playing this again." Then I came back to it like 5 or 6 years later and was like, "Why did I ever have trouble with this?" And then I went through the entire game with like no trouble, and I didn't understand why it was so difficult. By then, I no longer understood why everyone thought it was so difficult. It's not that it's hard. It's just that damage is fucking damaging in that game, which everybody was really used to being able to play games like Skyrim, where you can just eat 42,000 wheels of cheese, and instead of getting the worst constipation in human history, you just regenerate all of your health instead.
My inventory is full of more food than is humanly possible to eat in one sitting, but I'm gonna fucking do it anyway.
I'm going to eat it all, and as far as the NPCs,
I'm about to die. I will eat 87 raw potatoes.
I have an
Yeah,
entire
no.
nation's worth of raw chicken legs in my
And to be fair-
inventory, and
oh,
I
no,
won't
I-
get sick.
Jesus Christ.
Oh
This
no,
is
I
why
picked up
children
this
in Africa
basket
are
and
hungry
now I weigh
because they will get-
6,000
And to
pounds.
be fair,
Let me just eat
by
this
bringing that up
basket.
though,
Zeta.
you bring up a good point. Another thing that Dark Souls did was it limited how much you could heal yourself.
Yeah, I'm still kind of. I don't know how I feel about that because they certainly have not made up their mind on that. Like in the first Dark Souls, you get an Estus flask and maybe some spells if you play the game in.
I was gonna say there's a couple healing miracles.
in Dark Souls 2, you get an Estus Flask, which you can upgrade, and then you can also upgrade how many times you use the Estus Flask. I mean, you can upgrade.
You could upgrade your Estus Flask and how
Then
many
you
times
also
you used it in the first game.
Then you
In the-
also
yeah,
get
in the first
life
game,
You can get up to
gems
20
and
charges
bigger
in the
life
first game,
gems
and you can get up to
even
Estus Flask
bigger
plus 5.
life gems.
Yeah, but it was tied specifically to the
Oh.
bond. We
We
lost.
lost him,
He
boy.
probably he probably tried. Let me guess. You closed your window that had GNOME in it, and it also was the window that had Discord in it.
Probably.
No. It just fucking like you were in the middle of talking and it was just like. for no reason.
I'll
Where'd you-
say
where'd you lose me?
I'm saving my opinions on Dark Souls because I feel like we could do a whole episode on that at some point, and boy, do I have some opinions.
Well, I only have Dark Souls on here, but really, it's kind of like, and the three of you know, and I'm going to admit this to the internet, to probably much to my chagrin. My favorite between all of the Dark Souls game, Bloodborne included, was actually Dark Souls 2. But everybody hated that because the sound.
Why do you include Bloodborne in there?
Because
Because it's made by the same people and it's part of
It's
the same
literally
universe.
Dark Souls, but you shoot with a gun instead of blocking with a shield.
it pretends like
Okay.
it's not a Dark Souls game, but it's a Dark Souls game.
But it's
Yeah.
not. But okay.
But it is.
Okay, I
It's
mean,
not.
as someone who played all the Dark Souls games and also Bloodborne, yeah, it's basically Dark
It's
Yes.
made by the same
I-
developers on the same framework. It's
On the
but-
same
but it's-
engine,
but
using a
it's
very
not-
similar
but it's
concept.
not the same game.
There's a reason that people refer to it as the Soulsborne universe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a different
yeah.
IP, but okay, sure.
It's a different
It's
IP.
a different IP.
It's a different IP. It's basically bootleg Dark Souls as owned by the same people that made
Look,
Dark Souls.
all you're doing is comparing someone shoving a glass-laced dildo up your ass versus a razor-laced dildo up your ass. It's
I don't know. The glass one feels probably like it would be smoother.
Yeah, probably, to be completely fair.
Oh man, oh man. He
I'm
just had
talking
the
about
greatest
broken
comparisons.
glass, you idiots.
Yes,
So
but it would
here's,
still probably be better than Razor.
getting back to talking about games, what I actually really liked about Dark Souls was my voice cracked. I was 14 for a second. Dark Souls.
Dark
Uh,
Souls.
It was a player character progression, and you don't have any kind of story. It was just pure ability progression because you start the game, you already are proficient with all of your weapons. You can anything that you can find in the game, you can use. It's just about having the right stats to use them. So if you didn't have the high enough intelligence stat, you couldn't cast a spell. If you didn't have the high enough faith set, but as soon as you get there, that's it. You can use it, and you can use it immediately to its utmost capacity. So it was about builds basically, and you run through this world, you create your build that fits you the best. Or like me, you take your first run through not understanding what builds are, and you try to go jack of all trades with all of your stats and have a terrible time.
Strength.
Yeah.
Put all stat into strength.
No, I definitely.
What I can definitely, I want to touch on this. In almost every RPG in existence, Zeta will go full mage, like magic all the way, all the magic. Dark Souls broke him to the point he was like, "Nah, fuck that. I'm just mega tank with a great sword, like an ultra great sword."
It's not even so much that as it was I didn't even know where to find because I didn't start with a sorcerer class, so I didn't start. I think I actually started with pyromancer. But yeah, I didn't even know how to find magic or what to do, how to progress in that direction for a long
You
time.
start with the miracle guy unlocked immediately once you beat the demon.
Yeah, but I didn't know anything about I spoke to him because you have to go through a certain amount of dialogue with him. And I talked to him once, and I was like, "Okay, well, that's that guy." And then so I went through most of my first playthrough. I had the Baldur Shield and the Black Knight Ultra Greatsword because that's what I had.
These are
And so
completely foreign words to me.
Well, everybody else listening will probably know what those are.
I had a sword and a shield.
He had an amazing sword and a garbage shield, is what he had.
Well, what's funny is the Baldur Shield actually served me very well.
So what I'm hearing is he spent all of his money on the sword, and then John Cena gave him a hefty bag.
No, see, here's the thing. I didn't have to spend any money on that sword. I killed a guy and he dropped it, and I'm told that I was lucky as hell that that's what he dropped.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely correct.
Okay. I kind of don't care.
But yeah, that's more or less what I have to say about Dark Souls. Is it was it opened up like fantasy RPGs for me. So now I like
so
that.
now
kind
you'll
of...
play Final Fantasy. You fucking.
No, I played Final Fantasies, like, of course, played Final Fantasy 7 and 12 back in the... God damn it, I should have had 12 on this list. Anyway. 12 is the best Final Fantasy.
I would almost bet dimes to dollars Dave has 12 on his list.
He probably has 12 Zodiac version, like a fucking brainlet.
His silence speaks volumes.
Zodiac version came out like 3 years ago. I played Final Fantasy for so long.
Somebody post the actually meme in the chat. Actually, the Zodiac version was what was originally released in Asia and Japan. Asia and Europe.
You fucking interrupted.
Hold on. Do I really have to put you in your place right now?
Oh, do you? Are you going to tell me that Japan did not get the Zodiac? The international edition of the original release was called the Zodiac.
No. You shut the fuck up, and I'm going to learn you some shit.
You may or may not.
The version we played is the original version of Final Fantasy XII. They released it in Japan. They released it in America. They released it in Europe. However, they released a different version of it because the creator of the game had intended that people would go certain directions, and he didn't really want to make a game where everyone could be everything. That wasn't his intention. He wanted to create a game where you had to focus on different characters and focus on what was good for them, and you had to have limited choices. But the original platform that he made it for, it didn't work that way. So they recreated the game in the Zodiac system, recreating the entire license system so that it would work the way that the guy who made the game wanted it to work. And that's the one they released to the international market. However, that game was not allowed to come into the United States because they added some content in the game that at the time the United States deemed, or the United States sales team deemed wouldn't be like popular enough. There wasn't enough demand for it, so we didn't get the Zodiac version until the very recent Zodiac Age one that just came out. So there, get learned,
nerd.
That is a point that
it is my favorite RPG ever. I know whatever the fuck you want me to say about it.
Because 12 is the greatest Final Fantasy that's ever been made.
Dave.
Anyway,
Dave.
I'm going to sort of side skirt your whole history lesson there, and there was something you said.
I have a very, very important question, Dave. Dave.
Yeah.
You say you know everything about that game? Do you know?
How much
do you know? Do you know how to turn it off and walk away?
I do actually.
Wow.
Is he playing
I beat it pretty much. I'm still trying to figure out the meta for Zodiac, and the reason for that is just because I already played the first game.
Zeta, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, I was gonna say there's an interesting thing that you said in there. Was a whole thing about like he didn't want to make a game where everybody could do everything, and instead you had to focus on what was good for those characters. When I still have the PS2 version because I still have your PlayStation. Actually, if you pay attention at all, you do yourself a bit of a favor and do a little bit of math when you're going through equipment. And each character has a very specific stat setup that you cannot change, which makes them best with certain weapon and armor setups. However, taking that over into the Elder Scrolls, I think that's where the Elder Scrolls is losing with time. Skyrim was the first Elder Scrolls that did not have classes. You started out with a base restoration spell, the base illusion spell, the base alteration, etc. You had the minimal addition of all of those schools of magic. You had you can use a sword, you can use a greatsword, you can use a bow, you can use, when they came out, a crossbow. There's no classes in Skyrim. You can make a build and just choose to avoid certain spells and focus on certain schools of magic, but you can just fucking grind and be the ultimate everything. Like Skyrim was the first Elder Scrolls game where you are by default a Mary Sue. Oblivion had classes. All the ones before it had classes. So I do think that makes a game more interesting when you have to focus on what's good for your character. I also think, especially in franchises like Final Fantasy and Elder Scrolls, now that they've stepped into the online world with Tamriel Unlimited, it makes it far more desirable to have those classes because you will have your place in a team. Instead of, because if you have a team of 4 people who go into a dungeon and everyone can do everything, everybody's a tank, everybody's a healer, everybody's an archer, everybody's a rogue, it's just not fun. So I will say that Zodiac Edition does have that over the original, but on the other hand, the original American release. Jesus Christ, you sneezed your soul out. What the fuck was that?
I was gonna. But anyway, I was going to say that as a comparison, I was going to say, because I remember in the first Final Fantasy 12, I remember fighting bosses like the Hellworm and the Behemoth King, who were fucking hard bosses, and I basically just set up. The only thing I did that was like, these two are better at this than everything else, was Penelo and Ash are healers. Everybody else just throw bio at it till it dies.
Well, yeah, because that kind of goes back into what I was talking about. They have stats that you cannot change that just automatically level up as the game progresses and as they level up, which is why Ash is better with rods and staves. Meanwhile, Penelo is better with, like, I think just staves. And Mason.
It didn't stop you from finding a cheesy way. It was really easy to find ways to just cheese the hell out of bosses.
That was the other thing I was going to bring up. It's a lot easier in the open release that America got to beat Yzmat than it is in Zodiac Edition.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because
you just have everybody cast dark at it.
Everybody casts dark and everybody is a healer.
Is that the one that takes like 26 hours to beat?
Well, it doesn't take that long, but I think the world record is still like 4 hours. So
no, it's 2 hours and 56 minutes.
Jesus fuck!
Yeah,
I told you, Steve.
Wait, what did you say the world record was?
I believe it's 2 hours and 56 minutes.
Anybody who's played any D&D, that's like normal boss hours.
I would, bro. What?
Yeah, okay, all right. Record? So here's what I'm hearing. I play games to have fun, and then there's you two.
Can I talk about my favorite games now? We've already been talking an hour. And
yeah. What's on your list that we haven't already heard?
Well, I could cross out Doom, I guess, and Sonic the Hedgehog. We didn't really talk about Doom.
New Doom or old Doom?
Old Doom. So probably my first exposure to video games was watching my dad play Doom.
Again, we did have that shareware version laying around.
Mine was watching.
But I didn't play it for a long time, right?
See, but I didn't watch him play Doom. I watched him play fucking Castle
Wolfenstein.
Castle Wolfenstein.
Yeah, no, that came later.
Yeah,
that came later for me. But I literally was like 5 years old watching my dad. Like, I just sit in the office and watch my dad slay demons.
What is that, Dad? That's a demon.
My mom complained. Eventually, Mom complained enough about, like, you can't have your child watching you go play games like that I got, like, basically I wasn't allowed, because he used to play Diablo with
that's what I was,
but I couldn't watch him play
like,
that because
you can't unsee it though, so like what's the point?
Well, because the idea is that your small child mind will move on to other things, and then that will eventually.
It sure fucking didn't.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you brought it up, because I remember Dad playing Diablo and Heavy Gear too.
Yeah. Well, Heavy Gear we got to play eventually.
Yeah, well, so we also got to play Quake 2, Return to Castle Wolfenstein, and Diablo. So what's your point?
Well, I've actually never played Diablo.
Wow.
Oh my god, leave this podcast right now.
Bruh.
I've also not ever played
I
Diablo.
have it on my Switch. Dude,
Yeah,
I
but
have it
you're
on my
like a
Switch.
Gen
We need to
Zer, so that's
play.
I need to like have money to buy it first.
I
So-
I don't.
have
I'm not
it.
interested.
I have
Awesome.
it on the Switch.
Yeah,
As in,
you probably-
in cartridge
Diablo
form. I
1,
could give
2,
it to
3.
you. I have Diablo 3.
well, we gotta play Diablo.
Yeah,
1.
oh man.
Dude,
But how do you play with
fucking-
me if you give me your cartridge?
I mean, if you want to play by yourself, I can give you the cartridge. Otherwise, we can both play, but you have to be here.
I did play a little. To be honest, I did play a little bit of Diablo 3 with Kevin, but we never really got terribly far because then we both got jobs that his was daytime and mine was nighttime, and never shall the two meet.
Oh,
So it just like I was like, oh well, that sucks. So for me, probably I'd have to argue the two, because I'm gonna say much like Zeta said, was for me, I'd say my favorite games are also kind of the most formative ones. I think the ones that probably did the most formative stuff would be Saints of Virtue and Freelancer.
I'm curious because like
So let's
you
start with
brought up-
Saints.
Oh my
Why-
god.
So just to set the stage for everyone who's never heard of this game, which is everybody who wasn't a Christian as a child, Saints of Virtue was the Christian Church's answer to Doom.
Actually,
Dude,
like,
straight
Sense
up,
of Virtue
not
is
even
a
lying.
goddamn work of
it
art.
uses the Quake engine.
Yeah.
Okay,
And physics is the original Quake.
so
Yeah.
here's the way it was. It was a first-person shooter where you walked around with the sword of the Lord or whatever.
The
in front
sword
of
of
you.
the
Sword of
Lord.
Righteousness or whatever.
The sword of righteousness, whatever. I don't even fucking remember.
It's
all
the sword of the
But
spirit, you
overall,
fucking weeb.
Yeah, that. So you
Listen,
run around
dude,
with the
and you know
sword
how
of the
long
spirit,
I read a Bible.
and since just so we're clear, I never beat that game. I never got
Oh, me
past the
neither.
fucking
I beat it
maze.
several times. It's a work
Yeah,
of
I
art,
beat-
that game.
I still have to say the intro song is still a banger today. Just
Oh,
to
yeah.
be honest.
Oh, yeah,
just
I
like,
have-
like,
I it's on my Spotify playlist.
Hell yeah!
It is for real.
But so essentially, your sword shot like little energy bursts, and you carried it like you would a gun in Doom. Like it very much felt like it was supposed to be Christian Doom, and instead of like fighting, which I
don't
thought
know
was the
what you're
funniest
talking
thing,
about, but
because
Doom
instead of
players-
fighting demons, you fought floating masks that were representations of human sin.
Yeah, there were representations
had
of the seven.
you had like a-
They
seven-
were
a
literally
mask that was
called the
called-
Mask of Humanity.
Yeah,
There was things
so
like
you'd have a mask that was called like
worldliness.
worldliness or vanity or
And it was
self-righteousness
funny
or
because
whatever,
worldliness literally looked like a globe with like a phantom Al
with a
Gore.
mask on it.
he did look. He had an Al Gore face. He really did.
Straight up
Really
looked
did.
like Al Gore, and I was like,
Oh.
the makers of this game are trying to tell us something.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
to be
I
fair,
think the maker of the games were like, you. I'm going to say this, and this is the only political statement I am going to say. Christians are usually very, very conservative, and they like their Republican representatives, and they don't like the Democrats. So a lot of the times they will make fun of Democrats like that.
Yeah, but that was back when the right couldn't meme. So the best they
That
could
is
do
true.
was-
That is true. That is true.
You say that like they still
Um,
can't meme.
I mean, it depends on how deep on either side you go. If you go like into the more internet savvy and the less politically savvy side, both sides can meme pretty goddamn well. But the more mainstream you get, the less quality memes there
Yeah.
are
Well,
on either.
because then you're getting into people who spend all their time talking about the politics, and they don't spend their time on the internet. Let's move on. So Sense of Virtue was interesting just because it was like, it was the alternative to Doom. It was the super Christian one, and we grew up in a very Christian family that wanted to gaard our hearts. And like
Yeah, I
that
remember
was the
we
excuse
all
for
played
not
games
letting us consume half of the existing media in the world.
I do remember when Alien versus Predator came out. I remember sitting there and like you two had to argue with Mom for longer than the runtime of the film to convince her that I should be allowed to watch it because the most gory thing was spray paint on a styrofoam rock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like, how is
the
this?
dumbest thing?
We've literally already seen worse because by the time we saw AVP,
We watched The
we'd already
Matrix.
seen we had already seen The Matrix. We'd already seen the first two of the three Lord of the Rings movies had been out by then, and it was like the Battle of Helm's Deep is way worse than anything that's in
all of
Lord of the
AVP,
Rings
yeah.
was written by J.R.R. Tolkien, who was super Christian, so it's okay.
Yeah, but he was like
was written,
kind of
the
Christian
movie was directed by someone else. That's not how it works.
No, but that's the thought process.
Yeah, I get
But
it.
moving on, like I said, I didn't want to get very political.
We got boomer parents. We got hella boomer parents.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was a game none of you brought up. Thank God, because now I can have the soul
Go on.
allowance to do so.
Because
It was called. It was my introduction to sci-fi video games, and I have yet to this day to find its equal. It was called Freelancer.
Ba-ba-da-bam!
And it was amazing. Freelancer is the only game I loved so much I actually went and got mods for it.
Freelancer is.
I
I
Generally
do remember
I don't
modded
like-
fucking Freelancer.
I generally speaking really don't like modding video games. I like to play the game as it was made, and when I'm done with that, I move on.
And
Generally,
that's
I don't
fair,
add
but
mods to it.
Dexter's race course is bullshit.
You're just using the wrong shit.
what
You need
the
a
fuck?
light fighter, not a fucking freighter, you user.
No, I used the goddamn flying shrimp, bro,
We're
and it was
talking
still
about, we're
bullshit.
still talking about Freelancer. I was like, wait. For some reason, my brain went to Dexter's Laboratory. I was like,
No.
when the fuck did that
No,
get a video
so
game?
I got the
hell
speed mod.
Texan. The Texan racer guy who's out
Yeah.
in the middle of
Yeah.
space.
Yeah, no.
I'll tell you what you want to know,
lad,
lad, but you gotta beat me in a race. Fuck you, Dexter.
Yeehaw.
I'll never find anybody good enough to beat me in a race. I want to find somebody good enough to beat me in a race.
By the way,
I also love-
incidentally, it has nothing to do with the fact that half of my goddamn race course goes to a fucking asteroid field. Fuck you,
Or
Dexter.
the fact that I fucking cheat and turn on the shooter the shooting arrays.
Yeah, but if you
halfway
were like,
through the gun.
Dexter's an asshole.
if you were,
Here's the other thing I thought was hilarious about that was the fact that he was considered part of the British country, but he talked like a Texan.
Yeah.
fuck. Even when
You're
like
about as Texas as you get.
he's got himself a Dimmadome hat.
Yeah.
Timmy Turner, my name is Doug Dimmadome.
I also, on the subject of Freelancer, I still hold to this day that the Dromedary is the best ship.
Look, I don't think you
Yeah,
understand
no, to your wrong
how
opinion,
great.
but
Like,
No.
look, Freelancer. It had John Rhys Davies. It had fucking
Yeah,
George Takei.
Yeah. It
Oh my
also
God, George Takei in that game was amazing.
Lord,
had- I'm forgetting what the fuck was his last name. Ian something.
yeah.
He played the main character, Mr. Trent.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
had Sharknado Lad. Yeah,
What was
Ian
his
Fury.
name in that game?
Ian
Trent, the character Edison Trent.
Yeah,
I think it was.
Edison Trent. Yes.
Mr. Edison Trent. Yeah, he played
Yeah,
by
that's right.
Mr.
Everyone
Trent,
calls you
you're
Mr.
back.
for no goddamn reason.
because you were
Well, all the official people did. So, like, you talk to George Takei, and he would call you Mr. Edison Trent.
aka Lord Huckula, who literally just
Yeah.
went to tie but younger.
But so what Freelancer? What I liked about Freelancer is it was a massive open universe, and the only thing, in my opinion, that could make that game better
Ian
would have been
Zerling.
the ability to significantly affect that universe. So, like, no matter what you did, the same people are in control of the same areas, the same criminals are found in the same zones, etc., etc. It'd be really cool if you could do something that would allow you to, like, cause changes. So, like, if you wanted to be part of the Liberty Police, you could run the Liberty Rogues out of that big asteroid field where they hang out, for example, and then their base would just be scuttled and removed. And they kind of try to make you feel that way with some of the missions, but the problem is that those missions take place like way off the beaten path where nobody goes anyway, and you're never going to go there and be like, yeah, I changed the world here. Like, no. There's no bases anywhere near that. There's no way to like.
That's like
But
for this massive map.
yeah, but like just so we're clear though, it wasn't a bad game. It was a really good game.
Oh, it was a great game.
And just the fact that there was so many systems, and you just kind of had like, I love the system where they had like the free flight, you could fly around and you didn't necessarily know where up and down was or anything. It acted like SpaceX.
Well, there's one thing that I will contest with that.
Which is
if I, let's say in the New York system, which is the starting system, if I went to like the middle point of the map, where it was like West Point Academy or something like that, and I go straight down, I can go for like nearly eternity, and there's nothing. There's no more to the map. It was all on the same like level plane. There was in some of the secret maps you'd have to go up or down, but most of the like the mainstream maps like Liberty, Kusari, Britannia, stuff like that, it would all be like there's no reason to ever go up or down.
More or less.
I feel you. I feel you on that. Yeah. But just like that was probably because I've played plenty of like sci-fi games since then, and just never found anything that matched it. Like the level of feeling like I have the freedom to do whatever I want, but there's already like a pre-existing world. The only other thing I really wanted from the game, this is where the mods came in for me, was like I wanted more ship types. I wanted to be able to like being able to buy like gunships and massive freighters and battleships. It was an amazing idea to me.
Want to drive that SG-1 pyramid ship, bro?
Oh my god, that mod was like amazing, but was also like so bad.
It really was.
You guys
I
want to
love
talk
how
about?
you could go buy the fucking Prometheus for $1, and then you just had like the most
Yeah, but you
cash
couldn't
ship in the
fit,
game.
you couldn't fit through docking rings with that shit. You'd have to like
True,
load your
no,
game.
you'd have to moor.
before you
You
throw it
have to have another mod available so you could moor on the mooring platform.
The one thing that I will say is the closest to that particular, like the space flight, the closest to that I've ever seen since then, with that feeling of like, I want to go out, I want to get into space battles, I want to pick up cargo, and I want to go deliver it to another planet for extra money. The closest to that I've seen since then is actually from No Man's Sky.
Bullshit.
And the part of the reason that, what do you mean bullshit?
Bullshit.
Have you even played No Man's Sky?
No.
Then shut the fuck up and let me
Bullshit.
explain.
It's all empty.
Well, no.
I'll say my piece on it in a minute. Let him say what he wants to say.
I'm talking about like from a purely gameplay standpoint. Yeah, you go up into space, you shoot up asteroids, you blow up cargo things, you take a bunch of cargo, you can deliver it to another place for profit. There's other places. However, yes, the universe is very, very empty. But more recently, they've been filling it a little bit with like, I don't remember what it's called, but it's like a super space station. You can run into other players there actually now.
Do they have a race of monkey people?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do actually.
Are you gonna try and tie this into Starbound?
No, he's talking about.
I was talking about the monkey people and freelancers.
He's talking about there was
No, it wasn't a mod. It was in the vanilla game.
There was an
was-
Easter
There were
egg
monkey people
system
in
with
Freelancer?
two planets
Yeah.
with Planet Monkey and Planet Robot.
Yeah. That was
I
a
do
real
not
thing.
remember that
I
at
do
all.
remember that.
I don't remember that at all out of that game.
Because you probably never went there. It was like Gamma 3 or something like that. It was.
Yeah, it was a way the fuck out of the way. You had to find it.
Yeah.
There was like
It was a secret
one very
system.
specific warp gate or warp hole.
Yeah. It
that
was
led
an
to it.
Easter egg
And it
for
was
sure.
only in
You
one
had to
system.
get to by
Yeah.
going through another secret system that could only be
Yeah.
accessed through a bonus system that was at the end of a series of bonus systems.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
It was
okay, that
really
explains
rough
why I
finding
never
shit.
found it. That
Yeah,
explains why I
yeah.
never found it. Because
Man.
that's so much work that then I never would have put into the
Yeah,
game.
no. The one thing that I like about No Man's Sky over Freelancer in that sense is I can actually land on a planet and walk around and shoot things. But like RGB just said, it's fucking empty.
Yeah,
There's
see,
nothing
so
there to
this is
do.
what I was gonna. This was my thing I wanted to say about that. I can see where No Man's Sky has similarities because if you wanted to, instead of doing everything No Man's Sky wants you to do normally, you can fly up to the space station in every system, get jobs, go fight bad guys, do whatever, get better ships in that regard. The reality of No Man's Sky though is to get a better ship, you need tens of millions of credits. And the problem
Yeah.
with that is you don't make that doing those jobs. If you
No, the
want
only
that
way
kind
you
of
can
money,
do that-
you go down to a planet and you build a farm on the planet.
You have to learn how the
make
fucking stock system
natural resources so you can process them into exactly.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to go do things where it's like, oh, this system has a good economy, so it will trade you. I actually like that idea, but in No Man's Sky, it's just annoying because everything's empty, because there's nothing like regular to do. The thing that Freelancer had that No Man's Sky didn't in that regard was
a living
a single
planet.
system had a lot of stuff in it. You'd have like 2 or 3 planets in some systems, plus you'd have like there'd be like a base for the gas mining guild and a base for the people who do like the scrappers or whatever. And
Yeah.
then like if you went out to the sort of the fringes of the system into like just thinking of the New York system, you
Yeah, you
had
said
Planet
things like-
Manhattan, Planet Pittsburgh, and then you had the West Point Military Academy, which was at the end of one of the trade lanes. You had a base for the scrappers in the
Junker
debris field.
The Junkers.
Whatever, I don't care. You had a junker base at a debris field not far from Manhattan. You had you had a gas mining guild base not far from Pittsburgh. You had a secret military base somewhere in that zone. You had the jump gate to the Alaska system in the middle of a minefield, and then if you decided to go off the beaten path to that big blue like cloud of nothing, you could find the main base of the Liberty Rogues, and you could become their friend and help them attack. That was another thing I really liked was the fact that you could choose to be a criminal, and you could choose to have a good reputation with those characters, or you could choose to instead be on the right side of the law, and it's completely up to you what you wanted to do. And through the main story, you would go between being on the good guy or on the official side of things and being on the criminal side of things to kind of teach you that, like, when you're just free playing, you could play wherever you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one thing I will say. I think like the space flight and world interaction of Freelancer, and to kind of segue into another game on your list, the like on the planet physical like boots on the ground interaction of like the original Destiny. If I could have both of those in one game, that'd be fucking perfect. I would lose my entire life sinking hours and hours and hours into that game.
Here comes the question. I'm literally just going to go ahead and ask RGB Pro this. Do you want me to talk about Destiny? Because that is a pretty big one.
I mean,
It's
it's
a player. He doesn't really have anything to say about it.
it's on your list, yeah, but you know, try not to gab on too long because we do got to wrap this up soon.
Yeah, well, I also wanted to talk briefly about Halo and Darksiders, just because that we'll do that.
Oh
and then
my
end on
God.
Destiny.
No, it should have been on my list. That wasn't on
Oh
my list.
my god.
Because
Oh my
Darksiders
God,
is basically-
I have
Oh my
strong opinions
God,
about
Darksiders.
Darksiders too, but
I know you have strong opinions about.
I feel like
Darksiders.
that should be its own episode also.
So briefly to touch on the Halo series, like I was actually introduced to it with Halo 2, and I thought it was really great because of all the storytelling, and I played Halo Combat Evolved later. And it's because I got Halo 2 on with my first Xbox when my friend sold it to me. And then like for me, I had the experience of Halo 3 being like, I remember living through like the whole like at the end of Halo 2, he's like, "Sir, finishing this fight." And the idea of Halo 3 was that was it. That was going to be the end. That was going to be the final piece of the trilogy. And I'm kind of a bit
Zeta,
upset
that's
that they
fucking
didn't
gross,
stick
dude.
to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
'cause
what, you
Halo-
thought
No.
Halo
Bungie
3
did,
was
'cause
gonna
every
end?
game Bungie made after that was either an alongside or a prequel.
Yeah, so Halo 3 ended and it had such an amazing ending, and that could have been just those 3 games. Boom, that's it. That's your series. It was really good. It had a good story. It ended well. Everything was good. Everything was fine. And then they decided to sell the franchise, and that was
And
the
then,
fucking
boom, doors
worst
slam
idea.
open, foot kicks the door open. Hey, what do you want? Halo Reach, Halo 3 ODST, Halo Wars.
no, no,
hey,
no.
Well, Reach and
alright.
ODST
Hold
were
on,
really
hold on.
good. Reach and
Reach
ODST
and
were really
ODST
good.
were from Bungie. They were really good, and Bungie even came out prior to. They're like, we're done with the main trilogy, but we are going to make a couple of like.
Okay, yeah,
sidelong
but
games
what's
to
your
kinda
fucking
flesh out the
excuse for
universe.
Halo Wars? And what's your fucking excuse for
Okay.
they decided Halo Wars 2 needed to be a thing?
Yeah.
I will say.
So
I will
I
say.
agree with you that Halo Wars sucks.
I did not
It
like
really
Halo
does.
Wars because it doesn't
Yeah.
feel like Halo, and it didn't make sense that they tried to genre jump.
Do you know what the point of Halo Wars
Yeah.
was? The entire point of Halo Wars
make
was to
money.
say, "Hey guys, Cortana was a real girl."
Yeah, more or
Yeah,
less.
That was
Yeah,
it.
pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
To be honest,
You're
let's
right.
be honest, it was to sell more. That's really the only point there was to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
it was a shit game, and the second one was not any better.
No,
All right,
neither of them were good. They were both bad, and anybody who disagrees with me is a simp.
I'm gonna be right back. Let me grab something to drink real quick.
Yeah, but Halo 1, 2, and 3, it was such a good, beautiful, amazing trilogy. And then Halo Reach and Halo ODST, there were some really good side.
I really like
games.
Reach. I will say I like the gameplay of Halo 4. I do enjoy some like mechanically how the game plays. I don't like the story at all.
I'll
Yeah,
say
the
this:
story is fucking
as far as Reach and ODST goes, I can't tell you the difference.
Well, because three.
Other than it's like Halo Reach is you're a team of Spartans, and then Halo ODST is you're a team of humans, and other than that, it's the exact same team.
Anyway, no. What was I going to say? Right. The earliest mention from Bungie of the Destiny IP was actually in.
Halo 3 ODST. Yeah. They had a poster on a wall in one of the levels with the little.
Yeah, it had a blurred image of the traveler, and it just said "Destiny
Dude.
away."
Dude, I remember the hype around Destiny when it first came out.
When they first announced it, I was like, "Oh, cool! I'm really looking forward to this." And then it came out,
Wow,
and I was
Peter
like, "This game's
Dinklage.
pretty cool." Huh?
Peter Dinklage, yeah.
Oh, yeah, wow, Peter Dinklage, yeah. That's one thing.
He
that I
was the
told Nolan.
worst ghost, though. Nolan North is so much better as a ghost.
I
Yeah.
will say that Nolan North is better, but I would prefer like a choice. That is something that I would say that Destiny needs to like Bungie. If you ever listen to this, give us multiple voice actors. If we can choose different voices for our Guardian, give us different voices.
I kind of feel like
more than like at least a little customizable, so we
I
feel
kinda
like we
feel
have some amount of choice there.
I kind of feel like Peter Dinklage got slighted a little bit there, because I bet when they put him in the booth, they're like, "We need you to sound like a robot." But when they put Nolan North in the booth, they're like, "Hey, it's fucking Nolan North. Just be Nolan North. Hey, fuck it."
Just be Nolan.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a little unfair.
Part of that also is they got Nolan after Dinklage was let go, specifically because they could just put him in a booth and just be like, "This is your character, do what you want." Because Nolan North has more. I think if you go on IMDb and you look up Nolan North, I think he actually has more actor entries than fucking Matt Mercer, and that's saying something.
Jeez.
That is saying something. Jesus
what?
Christ, dude.
I'm gonna look that up right now, because that's both legendary numbers.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet that Nolan North has more than Matt Mercer, who, by the way,
So-
is also in Destiny.
Yes, I know. He
He's
doesn't
the
he play?
male human guardian.
Yeah,
What?
I was gonna say.
Male
There's
human
also
guardian.
Nathan Fillion who played Cade Six, the best character.
Yeah,
rest in
yeah.
peace.
He's also he's done references to that in other things that he's been in.
You know what? I just want to imagine like when
Okay.
they told Nolan that he
have
had to cover for Nathan for this one thing because they had a falling out with Nathan. I just imagine Nolan being like, "That's sad."
Okay, so
Dude,
I have to do that.
I didn't even know. I literally couldn't tell the difference until you told me.
I felt like there was something off about
That's
his.
why.
I felt like there was something off about his voice, but like I didn't realize it until I saw the credits, and I was like, "Oh, it wasn't
Yeah.
actually still."
So Matthew
Yeah.
Mercer. Matthew Mercer has 400 credits as an actor on IMDb. Nolan North
Okay.
has 423.
Yeah, see, I told you. Now,
Just-
here's
just
you want
very close.
some real legendary. You want some real legendary numbers. Look up the guy who plays Pete in all the Disney media. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. He's in fucking
I plays a
everything.
lot. Yeah.
His name's like Jim Cummings, I think. Yeah, Jim Cummings. Look up Jim Cummings. See what he has.
Jim Cummings.
'Cause he probably has,
564 credits.
Yeah. Just as an actor,
Jesus,
yeah.
that's legendary numbers.
Yeah,
His
Between those three people,
Nolan
they've
North
been in.
or Mercer.
yeah, that's a lot. Jeez.
Well, he's also
Oh,
like a good
man.
20 years older than them too. So
To be fair.
Well, what I was gonna say regarding Destiny was just like I do remember there was a lot of hype around Destiny because it was Bungie's next IP, and I just remember
Yeah.
like I remember the disappointment of Halo 4, and
Right.
I have since
Yeah.
learned. I've since learned that 343 actually did
Bungie.
take a lot of notes from Bungie, and they based their story around what Bungie gave them. But at the time, I was feeling very much like they took the story in a random direction away. Like it felt to me at the time like, oh, this is just somebody's fan fiction, but because they bought the franchise, they get to make it official.
That
I
really
want to say
is-
something on that note really quick.
That's what it feels
I
like.
want to say something on that note really quick. For all the current Halo fanboys who may hear this, and you can fight me and I'll win. I didn't even bother with Halo 5 because watching all the trailers and some of the leaked videos and stuff, if I wanted to play Mass Effect, I'd play Mass Effect.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Oh my god! The problem is, I did play Halo 5, and you're absolutely correct. Oh,
man.
dude.
That's
Yeah,
okay. I
no.
haven't played Mass Effect or Halo 5.
I haven't played Mass Effect either.
I only played Mass Effect 3, and it wasn't enough for me to be like, this is a favorite game, so I wasn't talking about it today. We can talk about it.
Well,
next
bang,
time.
okay.
Mass Effect is troubling. It's troublesome,
Really
right? Because
bad.
anytime, if I say the words mass and defect next to each other, anyone who knows that game is like, oh my god, it's so good, man. I'm just like, dude, can you
It's
get off your
okay.
drugs, please?
I mean,
If I
didn't.
could be totally honest, I think if I had gotten into it on the first game and gotten into the game, and the story and everything from the beginning, I'd probably appreciate it a lot more. But
I
I
think-
played like 5 minutes of the first game, and then I played all of the third game, and I just it didn't have the same feeling of like how important all this shit is. If that
I
makes
think
sense.
what RGB was just talking about with the whole like, oh, it's so good. I think part of that effect is people played the first game and they were like, oh yeah, this is a pretty cool game. And then they play the second game on the same device, and the device detects that they played the first game and takes note of their choices, and it affects how the second game
Yes,
starts.
it hooked them in. It got
They're
them
like, oh my
invested.
God, the choices mean something.
Yeah, it got them invested in
Okay,
the story
but-
and the world. But I
but-
never had any of that investment because I never played. any
Here's the
of
thing,
them.
though. Here's the thing, though. That still doesn't match what Pokemon Gold and Silver did. If you played Pokemon Red, and
I have
Green
no
first.
fucking clue what you're talking about.
Yeah, I never played
Okay.
Pokemon.
I'll briefly explain.
You want the
If you
comprehensive
played,
list of Pokemon games that I've played? I'll give you the
Hold on.
comprehensive list.
let me say my
Pokemon
bit.
Go.
God damn it!
Yeah.
So here's what Nintendo did with Pokemon. If you played Red or Blue or whatever it was, you play through the entire Kanto region and you beat the Elite Four at the end, and then you have to defeat the champion. And when you defeat the champion, you go and you log your championship team because you're the new champion now, and basically you log your championship team, and that becomes a logged team on your Game Boy. When you play Gold, once you beat the Elite Four in the Johto region, you get the whole Kanto region opened up for you. You go through all the gyms in the Kanto region, you beat the Elite Four, and when you go to face the champion, if you saved your game on the same Game Boy, it is your character from the last game with that team that you beat the game with. That is what you go up against.
Yeah, I mean, like that was like super like groundbreaking for something that had the computing power of the Game Boy, but like, and I get what you're saying. That's not really like a fair comparison to something like Mass Effect, where the device on which it's played
I'm just saying, like,
immense difference in computing power.
So what I was just saying is I didn't get the same feeling for that, like, through Mass Effect, or even when I watched playthroughs of the other games to try to get myself up to speed, because I played about an hour and a half of Mass Effect and went, oh, there's a bunch here I don't understand. I need to know what's going on. I just didn't get the same feeling out of that as I did out of and maybe it's because I watched most of it through videos instead of doing it myself. But then you compare that to games, I'm going to say some names that people are going to hate me now. You compare that to games like Undertale, where you have that feeling even when you're watching the videos, you still feel drawn in. And I feel like I know that they were going for that. They just didn't quite do enough or do it right to make it work. I don't know what magical component changes that, but you know.
Okay, let me narrow it down for you. Do you like Dragon Age?
Yeah.
Dragon Age is the same.
Would you say you're invested in the story of Dragon Age?
Not so much, no.
Okay. So basically, you just like fantasy more than you like sci-fi.
That's probably what it comes down to. Like, I will readily admit.
How did those questions come to that?
Because
they're both
did you complete a Dragon Age game?
Yes.
So there you go then.
But I completed a Mass Effect game as well.
Yeah, but you completed probably the first, I'm betting.
No, he just said he said the third.
Yeah, he beat the third one.
I beat the third game. That's the only game in the series I beat for Mass Effect. For Dragon Age, I beat the first Dragon Age game. I started playing the second Dragon Age game, and I was kind of like, eh.
I have tried to play Inquisition several times. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I just don't have the eyes I used to, but like I tried it on the Xbox 360. I went through like 3 different TVs in every game setting possible. I cannot get words big enough that I can read them because they take up like 1.5 a piece, and I legitimately cannot read it. So I tried it on like super giant TV that I have now, and I still can't fucking read it because it doesn't get any bigger.
Yep.
Jeez.
I have no idea what I'm supposed to do because I can't read my objective and I can't see the map.
I'll save my opinions on the Dragon Age series for another day. Is there any more games?
I was gonna say we barely touched on Destiny. I wanted to end on that.
We were supposed to be talking about Destiny the entire time.
I was gonna say like for me, Destiny was Bungie's next thing, and I just remember there was a lot of hype around it. I remember I pre-ordered it. I remember I went out the day it came out. I remember texting people saying, "Oh, my Destiny awaits" and all this shit to go.
Wow, you cringy bastard!
Yeah, I
for real.
What the fuck? Cringy. I remember playing it for a long time. I remember liking the world it was in, but there wasn't a ton. And there were 2 things that ultimately, because when I first discovered this reality, I thought it was a really cool novel idea. People bitched about it a lot, but I thought it was cool for about a year. Eventually, I was like, no, these guys are kind of right, which was they put all their story on a separate website.
No, I had that, and you and I
Uh,
personally have had this discussion. That was the biggest mistake.
So they were like, so they handed you a storybook, but you open it up and it's all blank pages, and they're like, "Oh,
So
you
so
wanted
play
the
through
story?"
the game,
No,
you
it's
would,
not blank-
and
not blank
every so
pages, they
often you
have
get
URLs.
a.
So listen. Go ahead, Dave. Because
So every so often you get like a notification while you're playing and be like, you unlocked a Grimoire card or whatever. And I looked for a while to try to figure out where the fuck the Grimoire was. And I found out that what you have to do is you have to go to Bungie.com and sign in with your gamer handle, and then they can look at your gamer handle and they know what Grimoire cards you've unlocked, and you can go in and look at all the Grimoire cards you've
That's
unlocked.
fucking
Um,
dumb.
yeah, they
Yeah,
did
I
kind
remember
of
at the
fix
time I was
that.
like, "Oh, that's super cool."
No, it's
But
not.
nobody agreed
No, it's
with
not.
me.
It's
And
not.
after about a year of playing the game, there was a level of like, no, these fuckers are right. Like this doesn't
Yeah.
hold up with time.
Yeah,
like
no.
I really do want to be able to just go in and see shit.
Yeah.
The way
To
they did it in the
Um,
second game with the lore books, being able to actually go
Yeah.
into your menu and see the lore books that you've unlocked
Yep.
and read them.
But to be fair, that is an incredibly recent development.
Dude, like
Yeah.
they
They should've
ordered
done.
Disney too
you
is.
ordered a hamburger and chicken nuggets, and they gave you the box for the nuggets and the wrapper for the hamburger, and not the actual food.
Yeah.
No, that's how
And you looked-
DLC.
there
and
was
you looked
story
at
in
it,
the game,
and you looked at it, and
but
you
if you
said,
want a
"Wow,
universe-
this is so cool."
If you wanted the see, I wouldn't compare it like that, because the thing is, like, in the game there's a story going on and they do tell you all the story in the game. They talk to you about what you're doing, the storyline of actually playing through the game and the campaign itself. However, if you wanted information on the broader universe, like one of the enemy types is the Fallen. If you wanted to know about the Fallen, who are they, where do they come from, what's their sort of deal,
Yeah,
like
what's
you'd
their
have to
fucking
go to that
deal?
other website to find that out. But
Why
you
the
would
fuck
learn
is that so
things
hard?
about, you would learn very basic things about the game. You'd learn that there are separate houses of the Fallen, and that this house controls this area or whatever, and that the Fallen are seen by humanity as largely pirates, but they definitely have a sense that they have not always been pirates. And that's all you get out of the game. If you wanted to learn more about like how they were a species that the Traveler was with before, and they had their own collapse and all this other, you had to go to the website to read the rest of that. But for a lot of people, and I do see why they did it that way, because for a lot of people, one of the bigger complaints about some of the shit in a lot of other games is like, I just want to play the game. I don't want to have this wall of storyline I have to walk through. And I get that for people who just wanted to play the game and have the bare minimum, and just
Like
they
me.
just wanted their meta, and they just want, yeah, like Jim, they're more than happy to let all that fucking lore shit exists somewhere else. Let the lore master sort it out. I'm not a lore master. I don't give a fuck about the lore. I just want to do XYZ.
I just want to
Here's the
shoot
thing.
shit, get good.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. What they should have done, to bring it back to what we have agreed so far has been the best game that we brought up, they should have done like Final Fantasy 12 and had like basically like you said, a grimoire. In Final Fantasy 12, it was a beast. It was a bestiary that also had lore book attached. They should have done that, so it was in the game. Which, like you said, they've done that now in Destiny 2, but it's not as complete. They should have done the entire grimoire in the menu that you can go to, you can access, but it doesn't matter whether you look at it or not. It doesn't affect like, oh, I need to like read my grimoire so I get points for this, or stuff like that.
What? There's a
They
point
should never
system?
attach prizes to it.
No,
well,
no.
In Destiny
There's, like-
2, there is, yeah.
There's like,
fuck?
But it doesn't matter. But those points literally do
hold on.
absolutely nothing for you.
Hold on. That's not entirely accurate. So there is a point system in Destiny 2, but it's not specific to the Grimoire. It's you have a whole separate page that's called like challenges or discoveries or something like that.
triumphs.
So like,
Triumph.
yeah, triumphs. That's what it is. So you
So
get
achievements,
points in
then.
your triumph thing. Basically, they're like in-game achievements, and certain ones will unlock certain things for you. So, for example, like there are certain shaders that can unlock by completing certain triumphs, or there's certain ships that get unlocked by completing certain triumphs. Like there's one that I never unlocked because the only way to unlock it is to complete the fucking Last Wish raid, which is already a 2 to 3 hour raid with way too many fucking engagements in it, but you have to do it on the super hard difficulty.
Yeah. The last achievement that I don't have, or trophy technically, since I'm on PlayStation, that I don't have for Destiny 2, they changed what it was, because originally it was complete the Leviathan Prestige, but then they took the Leviathan Prestige out of the game. They took the Leviathan out of the game because they vaulted so much shit. So now what that achievement says is complete a Nightfall Strike on Grandmaster difficulty, which is arguably harder.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
I know that we're running out. I know we're running out of time.
We kind of
can
got
talk
to
about
wrap
more
up
later.
soon, so we can make
Yeah.
Destiny its own
I've
episode
gotta
if we
start
want
getting
to.
ready for work in a
But
little
we probably can. I think we could talk about each of these games as
Each of the games that we've mentioned probably deserve at least a dedicated section
yeah,
of its own episode.
Yeah.
Smaller games like Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Mega Man 7 don't need to be a whole episode, but they do deserve
share an
more.
episode.
but if there's anything left you want to say, make it quick.
I mean, there's a lot left I want to say, but I think if I start talking, I will actually just keep going and going and going.
Yeah, you do.
Right.
You do Gabaron a
Yeah,
lot.
we do that, yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
All right, so good talk.
Is there
I didn't hear
anything?
it.
So, fearless leader, how is it that we're
Well,
wrapping
because
up?
I was about to wrap up, and then James went, "Wait." So what? Did you want to say
I
something?
didn't hear what Zeta said. He cut out.
I said, okay, good talk.
No, before okay, good talk.
So we're
I
talking about how I gab on and on and on.
Oh.
yeah,
Well,
I agree
that's
that he
unimportant.
talks too much.
Yeah,
Oh,
a
that-
real
that's not important. I just
professional,
had no
real
idea what he
professional
said.
ending we got going on here. So please enjoy our wonderful podcast, beautifully brought to your wonderful, beautiful ears by a bunch of idiots, and
Absolutely. The
please,
best idiot.
please do the like and the subscribe and share with the friend.
Yee yee!
Yeah, totally.
We should be back again sometime with more of this,
Yeah.
because keeping things vague is
That's the
great.
plan. That's the
But
plan. All right.
I hope you enjoyed our 2 hours. It's 2 hours now. Our 2 hours of
Yeah.
just
If you
absolute
learned something-
chaos.
Tell us, because that was not
that's
the
kind of like par
Yeah,
for
and
the
if
course
you
for
learn
podcasts
something-
is around 2 hours.
If you learned something, good for you. We really didn't intend to teach you anything. Okay, everyone say goodbye now.
Bye bye, YouTube.
Beautiful people.
Huh.
Cool outro. Woo!
Go. Do you still use that chiptune shit?
All right.
I
Are
do
we done?
use chiptune.